What's up, everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of This Week in Madden, show 239. That's this many. Here's what is on the show tonight. Remember, we take your mailbag questions, we break them down in Madden 18. So if you're struggling, let us know. We got the chat up, we take the YouTube comments, we take your questions, we can drop a link and let you know where to send them. Gibbs, what is up?
Just another day in paradise.
Did you ever consider not showing up this week after what happened on last week's Game of the Week?
No, I've gotten back into the lab. I've played some games. That's what happens when you play Problem.
Do you want to talk about it?
I don't want to talk about it because it's ridiculous.
You could say it's the elephant in the room.
I'm good, man. I sort of think it's kind of weird, but I wasn't going to say anything.
The chat cannot get enough.
I don't really know what you're doing with it right now.
The chat cannot get enough. It's electric.
It's not.
It is electric.
Boogie.
It's electric.
Why do you have a stash?
People love it. People love it. The chat loves it. America loves it. It's electric.
Boogie.
Lots of good questions on the show tonight. We're going to cover off on beating cover 2, beating cover 4, West Coast passing, halfback stretch, user middle linebacker tips, 46-43, and then some of the most popular defenses that you're seeing online. So we'll get right into that. Gibbs, you ready for the mailbag?
I'm ready for the mail sack.
All right. First question of the night. What is a tougher defense, Gibbs? Cover 2 or cover 4? So give people some background on this. Why have people been seeing so much cover 2 and cover 4? And then which do you find tougher? And then what are some strategies we can put together for each of these defenses?
I would say the first thing you're going to find cover 4 when you look at cover 4, it's the defensive play call that you'll find most used at the start of any season. Because we've said it many times before, when you look at the play art, you have the most colors, the most area of the field defended by zone defenders.
Yeah, dogs all go, looks like it's not going to cover anybody, and cover 4 drops like, wow, where are they going to throw?
So that's the starting point, and that isn't to say that's an elite level tip or explanation. It's more of a high level beginner style approach to the game. Look at it. It visually represents that it's going to cover more of the field. And when you pick up the game for the first time, you don't know how to get pressure, you can't blitz, things like that. So you need to have the coverage. Now, I would say, in my opinion, I think cover 4 is harder to defeat than cover 2. And that is solely because cover 4 is built-in run defense. When you have the safeties play in these run support situations. When they play up in the run and you want to run the ball against it, it's really difficult because now it's a laid-back coverage defense, give you everything underneath, but you have these safeties that shoot the gaps and actually become a tremendous run defense. Now, in that case, yeah, that worked well, but over the long haul, cover 4 is a very stout style run defense, and I personally think cover 4 is harder to beat than a cover 2. Now, flip side of that, though, if you get a blitz at a cover 2,
because you take away the short things early.
Right.
So why would you say, in your estimation, so many pro players and good players are playing cover 4 right now?
Cover 4 is for the run support, and the quarter seams are your best. You gotta get rid of your right trigger there. The quarter flats are your best overall zones in the game. They do the most. They have the most leverage in terms of they'll play the flat, they'll play match man, they'll drop into a buzz. They have the most versatility based on what your opponent is running offensively. So there's a lot of value in having quarter flats. And then again, the deep safeties here, you can see when I show my run fits, they play run first, pass second, right? So their first step is in the run game to attack the ball carrier. Cover 2 is always a fan favorite because if you can generate a good blitz out of it, that's what makes cover 2 effective because it's really difficult to get the ball out anywhere. The flats are covered, and they usually have a good user over the middle of the field, so really, where do you go with the ball?
Right, so let's show cover 2 just what it looks like. Obviously, last year, people found this cover 2 effective with Nickel Blitz 2. You obviously remember that play where the pressure came in from the slot. We've been seeing some pressure early in this season so far from cover 2. You try and get the ball out quick to the flat. It's very difficult. So, for example, here you can see pressure comes in off the left edge, cover 2, and this is all you really have to go by. And so when you go into instant replay, you look and you see, well, where am I supposed to throw this thing? Maybe the left. So you might say, well, maybe this is open, this left flat. But what you're going to see is that you're not going to get much. You don't really have time to go at anything deep downfield. The user is in the middle of the field. Here, he's kind of locking down some things. You're locking down some things across the middle.
The flat looks open, but then in this instance, throw to the flat,
right,
and just show that this is what makes it frustrating. When you have a blitz set up, cover 2, you throw to that flat, and then they tackle you, and you get a 3-yard gain, and it's like, wait, it looked like it was way more open on that previous play. That's what makes it difficult. These soft squats, these cloud flats, they give you the underneath, and then they rally, and you're usually not going to get more than 3-4 yards unless you break a tackle.
So that's cover 2 with the pressure. That's the reason people beat that. So cover 4. What adjustments are people generally making with cover 4? Are they keeping the quarter flats? What are some things that they're doing to have success?
There's really a handful of things that they're doing. It's not too extensive here, but a cover 4 drop. And definitely what you'll see is the first step you'll see from a cover 4 is typically you'll see the safeties brought up just like a little bit.
Just so they play in the run a little bit better.
Now they're just in the run support better. Now off of that, the adjustments are your coverage audible. So if it was a 4th and 2, what I would do in this spot is I would play coverage audible down, play hard flats. And now, because I'm only rushing 3 people, I'm in a base underneath cover 3 defense. Because I got 2 hard flats, I got 2 hooks over the middle of the field. So I got 4 defenders protecting the short part of the field. So now, what I'm specifically making you do with hard flats, I'm making you throw the corner route. Now, what's happening and what's making this cover 4 so difficult to beat right now is the 90-plus zone coverage metagame, right? I'm going to put, especially in mud, I'm going to put my 90 zone corners on the outside first, and then when you throw those corners, I'm going to make my 90 zone corners break down on those corner patterns.
Right, they cover very well.
So what you're seeing is, okay, protect the flat, they want you to throw that corner, but they know good and well that they have the appropriate defender with the right ratings in that spot to defend against it. And then also on top of it, what you're going to get is corners flat by default is very good. If you run flat patterns, it turns it into a hard flat. So just remember that. But if you don't run that, it could potentially play a match man against a vertical pattern. But what I'm also seeing, which is really difficult to defend against, is you get quarter flats or cloud flats. So let me show you what that is. That's coverage audible down to make them hard flats, and then coverage audible up gives you cloud flats.
Y down on the right stick, Y up on the right stick. You see those purple zones changed into blue ones called cloud flats with that change. What was that do?
This defense is just so infuriating because it will give you everything underneath, and you will never get anything over the top. Like it just gives you that, and you have to be okay with living with six yards at a time, right? And it sounds easy. But over the course of a game, over the course of 40 plays, do you have the patience to not throw the ball downfield one time? Because you're throwing in, a lot of cases, you're going to throw into triple coverage. What I mean by that is, watch this. Throw this post. I'm not going to cover it anymore, just throw the post. You're going to end up throwing it into probably 3 defenders will be in the area of the ball. Now there's 2 right there, right? And you can see the break on the ball. You cannot throw downfield against cover 4 because these zone defenders, especially at that 90 threshold, are so good at breaking on the ball that it is just terrifying. It's terrifying. That post, you should have completed that. But because the defender breaks on it, it's really difficult right now to convert against cover 4 downfield.
So that's why cover 4 is so good. Cover 2, we talked about it, because it covers short and people can blitz off of it. You don't really have the ability to hit the flats as much as you think they're open. The users kind of lurk in the middle. So let's go through 2 plays. We showed you last week where to attack cover 4. You can go over to youtube.com/Sgibs, youtube.com/ZFarls, and you can see that video of how to attack cover 4. We'll go over that though real quick. Just kind of give you guys some comfort and some meta that we're seeing, because you're going to run into these defenses if you're playing online games. Definitely. So first things first, you're in cover 4 here.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to identify coming out of the huddle if you think it's cover 2 or you think it's cover 4. Because if it is cover 2, you can beat it deep potentially. Cover 4, you kind of have to go underneath and do some different things. But you can tell because these 2 corners on the outside are dropped back about 10, 12 yards. So this guy here, if you want to highlight him real quick so we can see him, Jones, and then on the other side is Kirkpatrick, I believe, or Denard. So that's the depth you'll see with cover 4. Now, if it's cover 2, they're likely to be up a little bit more.
The problem when we get into a more advanced setup and breakdown there, the problem becomes I can play cover 2 and just use a base line, and I'm going to throw that all off. So from a more advanced level, we're not going to fall victim to that. Where if you're going to play at a lower level and you play cover 2, what Farls just said there is 1,000% accurate. Because take a look. See it in cover 2 here? They're up in the box. Now, if I were to go back to cover 4, there's just a different depth. He's closer because we're audibling in practice. But just don't fall victim if you're playing a real game of cover 4 and the baseline will bring them back. But one thing to note is most times if you face 3-3-5 normal, if your opponent is in a cover 2, they usually are blitzing. They're usually doing the problem blitz, the Tampa 2. I'm going to call it the problem blitz.
Yeah.
And they're going to be in a press alignment, right? So just be aware of that. If you see the press, they're probably going to be playing cover 2, especially with a baseline and a misalignment like this against a bunch. Just be ready for the cover 2.
Yes, this is where you must be ready for cover 2. So first things first, against cover 4, we talked about it a little bit, halfback draw. Potentially can get those guys out of the box because it acts as if it's a run first play. So if they're in cover 4 and you're not having success with inside zone and you want to abandon the run, you can at least get your guys to back up a little bit and hope that you get some blocking. So halfback draw, one strategy against cover 4 if you think you're getting it. You can find, hopefully you have it as one of your quick audibles. You head on over to a play with it. Call that hike it. You have to definitely run the ball as much as you can against the cover 4. You know you're not going to get huge gains, but you have to get some just to make sure you keep them honest a little bit. Also against cover 4, because they're only rushing 3, even if they contain, you can run with the quarterback. That's something I've had a bunch of success with so far, just to make them give up another resource, whether it's a quarterback spy, where they have to drop them across the middle. But they really don't rush that well. You can hopefully R-trigger and then get up through the middle of the pocket for a gain. That's one area where I've kind of been going to utilize against certain cover 4s. It can be a little bit hit or miss, and it depends on the quarterback, but in MUT, you definitely have speedier quarterbacks. And then one other thing we talked about was kind of targeting behind the flat zones, but in front of those. So do you have a setup you like, one play for cover 4? We talked about targeting kind of across, or...
It's less about a play, but I want to highlight specifically the route to Cobb. That type of pattern, just notice the depth, notice the angle. You're going to find that in a lot of playbooks. That's one of the better ways to attack cover 4, and it attacks it on the sideline. So
Y route right here.
The Y route to Cobb, right? So give me a drag to Nelson and just a vertical to Adams. And what you're going to find is the user defender in this case, they're all in the middle of the field usually, snapping the ball. They're going to see the drag, drop here, and then they have to get back. So I was a little late there. You can see, and you see how well they
break
play
on the ball, yeah.
So, but that's what you're going to see is, if we go into some replay, these late breaking patterns, especially without cross man, they're the routes that are really hard to defend. And what you're going to do is you're going to force a user defender to make a play there. And the other thing off of the cover 4, right? Run a play, go back to the PA boot over. So you have to be prepared for the meta to be this. Someone's going to recognize this formation and go, okay, I have to be ready for PA boot over.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. They're going to then use their Cobb.
Yep.
They're going to know to go to Cobb. So you then have to set up a play that attacks their user. So in this instance, what I would do is I would take Adams off of his route. I would put him on the in, and I would leave him on the in, or I would smart route the in. So the reason I'm saying that is this. Okay, let's show you what the defense looks like here. You're going to run the same setup, and I'm going to go and use your Cobb. That will then leave a passing lane open for you to throw to B. So I have to go here. Now you see how that opens up there? That is now the meta that you have to play. And what that is you have to anticipate that your opponent knows to defend the route that beats your defense.
Mm-hmm.
And then they know, I have to go defend that route. Well, where's their user? What's going to open up in that spot? So that's where you have to... It gets difficult at that point, and it's really hard. But that's what you're going to find is going to give you success. Like, I have to go here to defend this. I have to, because there's not much that will defend that. I can't cross-man him unless I'm doing a safety or doing something like that to take it away. So I'm forced to go defend that. Or the other example could be I play complete cloud flats, Cloud flats should be in a position to take away that Y route, which then would, but that gives you that underneath pattern. So now I would have to go here. Now you got rid of Y.
Got rid of Y on a drag by accident there.
Right. So you then have to go to, you then have to use, as a defender, you have to use the underneath route. You still have to set your offense up in a way that's going to attack where the user isn't. So that's what the game kind of turns into at this point, right? So I'd still put Adams B on an in. I'd probably put him on a low in because I'm gonna have to go. I know I have to defend that. Even the cloud flat, the cloud flat wouldn't even go to the Y, right?
So that's a couple things you can do against cover 4. Against cover 2, do you have any recommendations? Obviously, do you try and pick up the pressure, or do you try and run away from the pressure, or do you try and
you got to pick up the pressure,
leak out the pressure, or
you have to pick up the pressure because if you don't, it's going to scream at you, and then what do you got? You got nothing. You're going to get sacked, right? And it sounds easier than it is.
So here's the thing with cover 4, it's a slow man's game. Because they're not really blitzing that much. They'll let you stay in the pocket for 5 seconds. They'll let you playmaker. They'll let you scramble. They'll let you run. Like, you're going to cut yourself against cover 4 and do damage to yourself because you have too much time. Whereas cover 2...
Cover 2 blitz.
They're going to spice you up. It's going to be hot. You're not going to have any time to think. You're not going to have any time to mess up. You're just going to be taking sacks, and then you're just going to be chucking the ball randomly. So it's a different type of feeling in playing these two defenses. Good players mix them both up, but let's see how we would potentially pick up pressure. Do you have a formation you'd like to go to pick up pressure? A tactic you use?
Well, the good thing about gun bunch is you can in theory pick up pressure on either side of the field. You can get a tight end and a halfback. So in this case, though, what I would show you is the stash is still here. So
electric.
In this case here, what I would say is what I like to do against the cover 2 is try to attack down the vertical sideline. That's the weak spot. But what you need to do is you need to flood it appropriately. So actually, by default in the Seattle Seahawks playbook, they have a great play. They're quick outable right. It's not verticals, but it's actually a little bit better. It's clear out SE out. So what you do in this instance, I would like to streak Cobb, drag Adams, the far receiver. And now in this instance, the dilemma that gets created is if pressure's coming off that left edge, you can try and ID the Mike in this spot here, or you'd have to motion Montgomery. But Montgomery's you need to be able to motion Nelson in this play. So my recommendation is you try it. You try picking the pressure off the edge, and if it doesn't work, then you're going to have to flip the formation and go the opposite side. But in this case here, you're going to motion Nelson out, snap it here, and you just need time in the pocket, and then you deliver that throw down the sideline there. Now, against a cloud flat, he's going to keep drifting, so you're forced to go to B. You're forced to go to the drag pattern. So let me show you that here. Watch. So you're forced... No, Siri, don't listen to that. Siri, quiet. Wow, look at that. Siri said, "Hey, Siri, emotional snap at here in the pocket. Any deliver that throw down the side. That and I guess the clouds flat keep directing. See you, and you're forced to go to the draft."
Forced to go to the draft.
Is that not funny? But okay, you're going to be forced to throw to B here because of the cloud flats. But if I put these guys on soft squats afterwards, you can see how you have to dump down there.
You still only get like.
That's the problem.
I know.
That's the problem. But you need these deep developing corner patterns. So if you go to PA boot over, and let's go here, streak Bennett. Alright, long time. Oh, I don't have my defense auto flipped. So now in this case I would drag Nelson, put Cobb on an in, and motion Adams to the left. And you want to hit Adams down that... Nope, your other left.
Stage left.
Stage
left.
Sometimes your directions are just so off. Is it the mustache?
Stage left.
Is it the mustache? But you want to try and target him down this deep sideline. You need time in the pocket for it to get picked up. Right there. There's a window there. But you see how he breaks on it.
Yeah.
You really have to work your pass lead. And it's also really important that you have great route running to these receivers. Now, you can do the same thing with curl flat corner, the gun bunch tight end. That you'll be able to see here. Let me go to cover 2. So curl flat corner in this instance, we're going to set the same motion. You streak Nelson, slant Adams, and then block Montgomery. So we're going to set the same motion Adams to the left, but now we're going to change the different part of the field where we're going to attack the cover 2. Snap of the ball. You think it's over there. You need time in the pocket. It opens up. Good throw. And you can see how now we can attack the part of the field. These same two plays, the PA boot over with motion and the curl flat corner with motion, will also beat cover 4. But your throw needs to be perfect, and you need to have good route running receivers. You have to have great route running receivers. I'm talking 90 plus. I want the threshold's even a little higher,
hard
right?
To get.
But
hard to get.
It's hard to get at this point.
Edelman.
Right.
So those are some options for beating cover 2, beating cover 4, where you want to attack, why those defenses are good, how the zones work. Those are the type of things we break down here on This Week in Madden. Hopefully that helps you. If you guys need more plays, more tips, subscribe to the channels. You got youtube.com/ZFarls and youtube.com/Sgibs. So let us know in the chat what's up with that. Let's go into the next mailbag question. Gibbs, any final notes you would put on those?
Really, it's about patience, and it's easy to say, and I fall victim to it all the time as well. It's what's hard about coverage defense is it forces you to take what the defense gives you every time. I think someone in the chat said it earlier. I don't know if it was Hot Sticks or who it was, but someone earlier tonight said you have to 100% take what the user gives you every time. And when you play someone that plays coverage, that's the game that you're playing. If you go into a game knowing that, you're better prepared. What ends up happening is you get frustrated. You get into a 3rd and 7. You try and chuck the ball downfield. The better option would be get into a manageable 4th down, check down on 3rd and 7, get to 4th and 3, and now you have a lot more at your disposal. I can run the ball for a 1st down. I can dump down a drag and still get a 1st down.
Right.
You are forced to play a check down game, and that's what is difficult about playing these coverage style defenses.
Yeah, even just taking those levels as much as they'll give them to you before they go to hard flats, make them play hard flats, flat pass as much as you can. All right, let's go to the next mailbag question. This one, remember, you can ask these every week. We'll drop the link in the chat. You can check us on Twitter. That's where we put the link to these mailbag questions. Mangus wants to know how to know what route to follow when you're usering on defense. So user control is a huge way to improve your game, Gibbs. Give us a defense that you've been calling with the user in the middle. I mean, I'm kind of the user god, but I'll let you give this tip a little bit.
Sure.
How do you know what to follow?
It's more about projecting the formation that your opponent is in, and then understanding what routes are the routes you have to defend from those formations. So let's break that down here a little bit.
All right, let's see how we can learn what routes to follow across the middle when usering on defense here. Madden 18. So usering will make you a much, much better player. You should not be on a defensive lineman. You should definitely be on a linebacker, potentially on a safety, but most likely on a linebacker is going to give you the most range across the middle. Against this formation, Gibbs, what are you thinking? And when a play happens, like how do you know? Tell me at the snap when you know what Bennett's route is.
Sure. So the first thing I would say though, when I see this formation, what I immediately think of, I think of 2 plays. I think of verticals and I think of PA post, and then I immediately think I need to defend those types of plays, right? So when you're defending that, you have to identify what parts of those plays can you take away with hot routed zones or with a stock defense, and then what routes on that play can you not take away, which then you have to user. So let's kind of break that down here. So you're dumping the ball off there. So let's show PA post here for a second. Okay. So you're going to run PA post, and I'm going to be in this defense. I'm not going to blitz or anything, but let's just run this defense. I'm in a standard cover 2 with hard flats. Now, what I want you to do is just run the play. You're going to put Bennett on a drag, block Montgomery, and then motion Nelson out a little bit to the left and snap the ball. So this is one setup of it. There's multiple, right? But what's going to happen is B opens up here. You also threw the post, so that's fine. So if we go to instant replay, I'm going to show you here what this play looks like. So in this example, you can see we have the hard flat takes away the drag over here, but then also opened up was the corner route behind it. Okay, so that's where the problem comes. Now we have a corner route that's going to beat the hard flat. So now, by default, I need to find a way to take that away. So one good way to do that is if I keep a soft spot on the outside, right? And then if I put a hard flat over on that side of the field, that's going to help mitigate the corner, and it's also going to slow down the drag that you're running on that side of the field. Now you're going to play the same exact way. Snap the ball. I'm not going to use anybody. We're just going to take a look. So now the corner is taken away. He drifted down a little bit there, but you still aren't going to throw that ball. And then what I then need to do is go in, okay, I made my hot routes. I took stuff away. What now do I have to do to defend against the rest of the play? So the other route that gets open is the post to Cobb. So in this instance, I could do a couple things. I could put Minter on a deep corner or a deep zone. I could match Minter up one-on-one, although I don't love a linebacker manned up on a receiver, so I'd probably put him in a deep zone. You saw that I had a flat zone out there. Now if I have this set up here, flat zone, a hard flat on the right, soft squat, deep zone, I now can just kind of sit back here and try to use her at least the middle of the field, that one route. And now I only have to hone in on one play. Okay? Now here's what becomes difficult about this. Now you don't have 4 vertical that has a quick audible, but you have the SE outplay. So go to that for me. Now one way that you'll see people run this is the following. We just showed it for cover 2. Drag your B receiver. Now let's say we're going to set this play up to be exactly the same way. I am anticipating PA post. So take a look. This is the same defense. Now my user's in here. I have to worry about this. Now you run a different setup. I have to be ready for that. If I see this setup, then I have to know where I have to go to make a user play. My job is this. My job is B. My job is to take away B and make you make a throw downfield. So now I know I have 2 responsibilities based on 2 different plays you're running. If you run PA post, I stay in the middle and user.
How are you identifying at the snap what play I'm running? Are you looking for a key route, or are you looking for?
I'm looking for the first
specific?
immediate threat, which is against PA post, it'd be the tight end on a drag. But if I see the tight end break vertically downfield, I know it's not that, and I know it's probably verticals, right? If you're running bunch tight end trail, right? I would see Adams runs a vertical stem, and then he cuts over, and there's 2 corner patterns, right? One to Cobb, and then Adams runs the post. So you have to watch where the quick developing routes. Usually the quick developing routes come from Bennett, the tight end, or they come from the far right receiver on a drag as well. And then you have to identify where they are, and you have to go to the user. You have to have a predetermined guy I'm going to user.
Yeah.
That's the name of the game. Who's the predetermined guy I'm using? You can't just kind of like...
The predetermined guy you're using is whoever your responsibility is on defense. So the area of the field you are on defense, and whoever runs there first. So whoever you think is going to run there.
Yep.
So for example, like say I run this play.
Yep.
So there's a couple different answers to this question. It really depends on kind of like your defensive philosophy.
Right.
So this, right? So say you cross-manned up Cobb with this safety, and you manned up like Adams with this safety.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this in a previous tip, which you can go back and review. You are on the linebacker. You know you have to watch Nelson.
Nelson and Bennett.
Nelson and Bennett.
Right.
So you'd go to Nelson and then to Bennett.
Right.
Or
my first step would probably be deep.
Or you would go to Bennett, then Nelson.
Right.
But that's not using a guy. That's using an area. You're
Right.
going to use the short middle, look for a drag, and then you're going to drop and get vertical.
Right.
And that's the same across anything. But you know generally that you've manned up to try and stop Y and B, so you know you're going to have to pretty much follow X.
Right.
Or A, depending on who's been doing what.
Right.
And that's more of like an area of the field, not necessarily a guy or a route. So what I find is, like a play like inside switch, if I'm going to use the corner route, like that's like this formation, I'm always thinking, well, I have to pretty much use the corner route to A. And then drop back across the middle if he's not on a corner route.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at the snap of the ball. I now know, like, once I see RB go out, I know that A is probably on the corner route because that's the concept from this formation.
Right.
As far as, like, when people run plays like crow flat corner, or not crow flat corner, PA boot over here, I think this is more the question our dude was asking, like, because you did give a good explanation, but how do you know what route to follow? Like, it's all instinct. Like, this specific thing here, where it was more cover 4, but like this here, like how do I know when to stop chasing Cobb and fall back to Adams?
That's instinct.
So throw Adams, like, so it's this. It's instinct, So it's here, 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 here. Like, it's
knowing the timing when they throw it.
Timing, when somebody good would throw the route, when they would no longer want to throw the route, when they're going to run into other defenders in the area. So, like, Cobb's the deep guy. He's the first responsibility. So that is the challenge. He gets the most yards, so you have to take that away. So you need to know what position you can be in, first of all, to defend it. Because I don't need to be next to him. I just need to be able to get to, like, the 0 on the 30, where that 0 is on the field for the 30. As long as I get there...
Make a late read on him.
Yeah, you can't throw that past me. And then once he gets to the 0, but you can't actually physically press the button, have your quarterback do a full windup, and have enough arm speed to get it in
side of the field, yeah.
on the close side before he would be out of bounds. And he could potentially get there. So you know you're all right. You then have to go back into the middle.
Is it a hurricane?
Man, so you've got Amber Alert.
Oh, boy.
So I can then let that route go. I left a little bit early. Like, I want to wait till he gets more to like there where Bennett is before I drop it. But I then have to go back to my middle because my responsibility isn't to cover in this defense's area. If I vacate that totally because of Cobb, then you're going to have this middle area wide open. Look how open this middle is because I'm not standing there in the middle. Granted, there's no routes there, but that's okay. I have to eventually then go back when I cross it.
Right.
And so to shift back, it's like, it looks instinctual, but it's partly just knowing when people throw stuff and how, like, routes go.
One thing that I'll say, like, what the best players do is they identify these formations, and they'll, for the most part, you could catch them off guard a couple times or some new plays that they're not used to seeing. But what they do is they understand the strengths of those formations, and they know the routes that they can't hot route and defend.
Right. So call this play. Like, once I see Bennett go over there, or I see the halfback come out of the backfield on an angle route, like, a halfback never runs like, if the halfback's going to run an angle route, like, he never starts that part of the field on an angle before he cuts back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not like he runs a table route, go give me inside switch. Like, the difference between inside switch, where he runs like this, like, an angle route doesn't look like that. He runs more towards Bennett if he's on an angle route.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's a different angle. And then...
It starts with knowing the plays that will beat you from it, and then identifying them at the snap.
And learning concepts. Like, if Bennett and Nelson run flat patterns, then you know it's probably corner strike. Because you know the only time Bennett is going to run a flat is if it's slants or if it's a corner route. And then you just start bailing and getting over there.
Right.
So at the snap of the ball, you have to look for, like, a key route. It's either a corner route to the tight end, that vertical stem, or... an angle route from the halfback, or flat patterns, because that means corners. Those are things like you can look for. I like to just go, turn a corner. You know that's coming there. It's instinctual, but hopefully those are some things that you can see to give you a heads up at least. All right, next mailbag question, Gibbs, from Rashad 101. He wants to know, do you have any 46 normal defensive tips? So one thing I would say from the 46 normal for sure is make sure you use packages. So if you flick the right stick, you get the speed package. What that does, it takes 57 out of the game and 59, and it puts in 21 and 26. Those are two corners you get, or safeties. You get dime-style personnel, so you get much, much, much faster. So if you wanted to call this as more of an every-down defense, it would be something that you could look into. I like, personally, to go cover 2 invert in the red zone. So you get pretty good beef on the field with the 46 normal for the red zone. That's something you can definitely work on. You get any pressure or heat you like out of this?
You can blitz off the edges pretty well. What I've seen, if you go call cover 2 or cover 3 match, in this case, let's just go here to bunch. So what I'm seeing is some good ways to run the 4-6. If you base a line, you can, for the most part, blitz either the outside linebacker on the left or the safety on the right. You're going to want to give me a line crash just to see. You don't want to blitz in that inside gap. Yeah, there you go. That's a little better. And then with the old hold technique like that, get there in the belly of the defense. You're going to find that it's pretty easy to get pressure off of either spot. It does require a hold, but now if you do the same thing, baseline, now blitz the safety up the right, now get in the belly of the defense there, you're going to find that you can do it. Stay on the same side. Same side.
Same hold?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's convenient.
You get over there, you're going to find that it's pretty easy. Now, you're blitzing 5, which is fine. You can obviously try to always improve, but you're going to be able to get pressure off of both those edges. And now I've also seen what some players will do is they do the looping blitz from this as well. Mm-hmm. So you do need to get in the belly of the defense there. If you gotta hold. You
gotta hold, yeah.
Yeah, so that's not gonna work. Just use like that one. You don't want to have him blitzing either. His first step will be in, and you'll get sucked in. So now that instance, he actually came in. That was pretty good. But yeah, you can get easy pressure off the edge. You can do some type of looping blitz, or if you blitz the middle linebacker here, Minter, blitz him, and then move him over a little bit. Let me see. Crash your line to the right. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. And I kind of stack them. That's too far. All right, a little bit more right there, right about there. And then you potentially use a shot in the gap, like just a fake. It could be edge pressure, right? So now you're in a scenario where you might need to spread the line there or something, but now you can get pressure left, right, loop through the A gap. So there's a lot you can kind of do, but I would say your starting point is try to identify blitzing off of the edges.
All right, 46 normal, and then if you need to, like I said, red zone. This is pretty good because it packs a lot of guys in. You could always crash down. Call cover 2 invert. Get some hard flats out there. I feel pretty good about it can stop it. These guys should fan out pretty quickly. And then you can always pinch, crash, and shift if you think it's going to be inside zone. Some pretty good options from the 46 normal. That is in the Bengals defensive playbook. Mm-hmm. And anybody else have it? Does Jacksonville still have it?
Jacksonville has it. Minnesota has it. Eagles has 4-4. There's a good amount.
Yeah, try the speed package. It's not the best, but it's cool if you want to change it up.
Used to be better.
All right, next question in the mailbag. Remember, you can ask your mailbag questions every Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll put the questions out. You fill them out. We'll break them down. T-Ghost wants to know how to practice a 2-minute drill in Madden. So, couple important things about doing a 2-minute drill is, number one, you have to look and see, so let's back the ball up, how much time is left on the clock, how many timeouts you have, and then how many points you need. So do you need 3 or do you need 7? And if you need 4, you need 7. How many plays does that then give you, depending on, and then how many plays is based on the time. And the time all depends on then how many yards you need to pick up per chunk to get it down into that area. So like here we're at the 30. If we just need a field goal and we have only like 20 seconds but we have 2 timeouts, that means that we can throw anywhere on the field. We just need to get 2 big chunks or 3 big chunks. That should be plenty of time to get it. So maybe you start out with a screen pass. Maybe you start out with a run to see if you can just pick up a huge chunk if they're backing everybody off. If you need 7, though, then that means you need to get to about the 20 before you have then 4 down. So if you get to the 20-yard line, your opponent's 20-yard line before 20 seconds left, you can then take 4 straight shots into the end zone. That's about as far away as you want to get before you start taking like huge cracks into the end zone. And the clock won't stop because the ball will either be incomplete or it'll be a score. You won't be like throwing underneath. So those are some factors to take into time. Now we saw Problem do a great drive. I think it was the second major in his game. You called out his 3 plays he was going to call. How did you know he was going to call those 3 plays? Yeah. And is that kind of a strategy? Like have your plays you go to in a 2-minute drill.
Yeah. I don't know if it's plays you go to in a 2-minute drill. I think it could just be your offense. But what I would say, an effective 2-minute offense starts with 2 things. It's having your preset audibles and knowing how to use them. And then it's also identifying what hash you're on. And then how to effectively run those preset audibles to attack the appropriate hash you're on. So the example here is this. I come out in bunch trail. So bunch trail, by default, it does a great job of attacking. While I like it as a base play, show the play art here.
You're on.
Oh, I'm on offense. My bad. So I'm not even in it. But what I like about bunch trail is that it is a balanced play that sends a receiver in multiple areas of the defense. So what you force them to do is attack or defend just about the entire field with this setup, right? You have 2 short receivers in the flat. You have a route over the short middle, a deep post, and then you have a deep corner on the left. So you're forcing them to, if you had like a heat map, you're forcing 2 flats, middle, deep corner. So you're not putting a receiver, 1 receiver or 2 receivers in multiple areas of the field. You're attacking multiple spots. So then from here, I can go to gun bunch tight end because I know these are my audibles, right? Well, I wouldn't necessarily want to call PA boot over here because now I'm running my play. The strength of this play is from right to left. So, and I'm on the short part of the field. So while this is a great play, it's not a great play on the left hash, right? It can be, but the strength of it isn't on the left hash. But I also know that from this set I have curl flat corner. Well, the strength of the curl flat corner is that deep pattern to cob, which attacks the right side of the field.
And you might get out of bounds in a 2-minute drill.
Correct. So now, because I know my audibles, because I know when to go to them in certain situations, I can now start saying, okay, I feel pretty good in a 2-minute drill where I come out my base play, I get rhythm going, I dink and dunk you for a first couple plays, a first down. You start having to worry about protecting the flats. Your defense tightens up in the short area of the field, and then I can start hitting you downfield on the deep corners, deep right. That's a 2-minute drill. It's knowing all of the plays at your disposal that you can get to quickly, adjustments, what part of the hash you're on. That to me is what a successful 2-minute drill looks like in Madden.
All right. Well, you got to manage that clock, know all your plays, know when to go to them, being able to then hold down Y, get to hurry up, get to more plays like he's saying, and then know where to attack is good. I do like the idea of like chunks of the field. So like from your own 20 to your 40 is a chunk. From your 40 to their 35 or to their 40 is a chunk. And then from the 40 down to like the 15, anywhere in there, because that's field goal range, that's its own chunk. And then you have like 15-yard line and in where you're going for touchdowns. That doesn't take a lot of time off the clock. If you just need the field goal, you need to get inside the 40, so that's 2 big chunks of plays. If you can get those bigger yardage throws at that moment, that's where it'll really... Like, defensively, if they're anywhere below my 40, I'm not worried about giving up a field goal. I'm just like, I could care less. All of a sudden, they get to the 45, and I'm like... They're just one completion away. They're like one good sideline throw. They're one post away, like across the middle. Like I don't like if they're throwing 30 and they throw a post. I know they're only going to get to the 50, so I don't really care if there's 12 seconds left and they don't have a timeout. Like that doesn't bother me. But if all of a sudden they're at my 40 and they try and throw a post, I get itchy. Like if there's only 5 seconds left in the game and they're at the 40, I know they have to throw a Hail Mary. But if they're at my 20 and there's 15 seconds left or 7 seconds left, like they can actually throw a real route or concept into the end zone, and then I have to play real defense. So there's a difference between like real plays and then just like ridiculous Madden. I'm throwing a streak because it's literally all I can do. If they're in those separate like areas, then they can play for real. All right, let's go to the next question in the mailbag. This one is from Cameron, wants to know how to stop halfback stretch runs. So let's swap back here. I will get some halfback stretches from the single back deuce close. Last week we talked about stopping the halfback wham, which is a popular ham run. This is the HB stretch from the same formation. What do you like to do against the stretch? Are you more nervous about the wham or are you more nervous about the stretch?
Wham.
Wham because it can go for a lot a lot of yards, or because it bleeds you to death, or because of stretch?
Both. It gets you both. I would say stretch. A stretch. You need to make sure that you funnel the run back inside. You make a couple nice cuts. But listen, I'm not going to make it too complicated here. There's a couple things you can do to more advanced tactics that gets you fancy setups and things like that. But the place you got to go, the home you got to be in is a nickel 3-5, a 3-4 odd, the cover fours, right? These cover 4s give you great coverage, and they're also going to give you great run support. Now, the one way I like to do a little bit better here is I like to move this linebacker who's over the center, move him to this gap here, bring this linebacker here. And the reason I like that is because now you have this linebacker here against the guard, this linebacker here against the guard. You got the DN against the tackle, center against this D tackle, and so forth. And now your safeties, I like to bring them up just a little bit, get them in the box a little bit. And then I just sit here with my user, and then you run. I don't know where you're going, and I scrape. And then you see how the safety makes a play. It doesn't have to be so difficult. The problem is this. If I now go into a cover 2 shell, this is not a terrible defense to stop the run, but if I do the same thing and I'm going to cover 2 man, my safeties aren't in run support. So you run, I get picked up. That's where the problem comes, guys. The problem when stopping the run is when those safeties are not playing run fits. I can't stress how important it is. Look at the run support of the safeties here. Let's take a look. Snap the ball. Where'd they go?
Back. Away.
I might have been able to shoot the gap there, but they went away. But now I get eaten up by a block. Look at the safeties. They're still drifting.
You might be able to shoot, but if you miss your shot, then you're in even bigger trouble.
That's where that becomes a problem.
You know what I mean? Do you like cover 2 zone at all because at least the outside guys are in there? Or
it's for a stretch, yes. For inside runs, no. But again, here's the cover 4. Get over there, scrape. Look at the safety. He didn't make the tackle, but he's coming up to play in run support. That's the difference. You need to play the cover 4. It'll give you that run support. Now, watch. I can play cover 2. I don't love cover 2 unless you're in a baseline and it's a tight set.
Yeah,
I like them outside because that way they don't get picked up right away. But again, I'm not going to have the run support from the safeties, but I will have them from the outside, and they will clamp down, which will be really helpful for you. So that's something I would like to know is just cover 4 is your friend, and it's because the safeties. Look at this. See this play art here? That pink on Aloka. This color right here on Williams, I don't know if I could ever show it. Right there on Williams, that means that their first step is to protect against the run. So that's where it's really important. Cover 4 is your best friend when it comes to a run defense in this year's game.
Boom, get it wide against the stretch. They want to run the Wham for consistency. They want to run the stretch for a big play. This is generally like what I find. Like if you're trying to stop the Wham, I'll try and hit you with the stretch. But if I was in the stretch here, I wouldn't stay in this because of where the ends are lined up. Like, I mean, this D end on the left side of the screen is like...
You're a very visual player.
Yeah.
You're a very visual player. You see that and you're like, eh.
Yeah, he's gonna get...
He'll have more leverage.
He's gonna get on the edge. But now he gets double teamed, and now I got a potential lane.
Right.
So that's what I'm gonna do. And people are visual players at a lower levels because that's all they really have. That they don't have like the bevy of knowledge. They just see like, well, that guy's out there, and I'm gonna run over there. It seems bad.
Right. So if you were in the stretch and you saw this here, you doesn't mean that the DN's not gonna play it well. Or the DN's gonna win every time. The blocking will pick it up appropriately.
It will, but he's then on the edge, and he's gonna fight. Then he's
right there. That's where he can make a play for it.
And it's annoying. He's gonna automatically get on the edge of that defender, though.
Right.
Like
he's not gonna stay inside pancaked. So that's a good thing to do. Pay attention to the position of the defensive line.
And you won't get double teamed either.
Right.
And you want the double team on the stretch. That's part of the reason the stretch used to be so good. I mean, I don't love this inside zone split, but it seems like the inside zone split's better.
The one thing I also want to note, too, for run defense, and this is something I've seen in a couple different places, and this is the following, right? I don't know if you have a question in here about halfback Wham stopping it at all, but...
I don't. I mean, we talked a little bit about shutting it down, but if you got anything to add, we'll definitely take it.
What I'm finding is this. There are some plays, by default formations, in the game where you're going to have a linebacker that just shoots. I don't know why. I'm not seeing it attached to play recognition. I haven't fully seen it attached to ratings, but I'm seeing it attached to like alignments and certain play calls. So I'm just going to call 4-3 normal cover 3 sky. And last week, we don't snap the ball here, but last week we talked a little bit about the 3-4 bear and how you just call it default and it works for the most part, right?
Go back and watch that. So, YouTube.com/Sgibs.
Now we haven't practiced that this morning, but I labbed quite a bit this past week, and because I've been going back and forth between the Ravens and Bengals and 4-3-3-4, But I wanted a set it and forget it style defense that was, for the most part, pretty good against the Wham. So what I have found, we'll see. We're about to live lab it and find out here. But I believe that this linebacker Minter here, he should kind of have an unguarded shot at the Wham. Let's see. Let's see what happens. You see how okay, so...
But you don't know why.
I can't... I've subbed guys out. I've subbed guys in.
Play rag.
Here's what I'll tell you this. This is what I'll tell you is what I've uncovered about this. Run it again. Run it again. You're going to see Minter. He's going to come in, and he makes a play. So what would I say? Okay, well, 4-3 cover sky, 4-3 normal cover through sky locks up Wham. Okay, so here's the next step. Now, what I then started noticing was, well, what if I'm like using this guy? I'm using individual. I'm getting real awesome. Run it. Picked up. Bah, bang. So really, what tells me
Weird.
it's the positioning. So watch this. It's the positioning of your players on the field, of which your opponent's offensive line is targeting. So take a look at this. Snap of the ball. Look where the center goes. Center goes and picks him up. I'm gonna guess now because I moved out that linebacker 59. I moved him. The targeting's different.
Yeah.
So now it's like letting that linebacker be the guy that would shoot the gap, but I took him out of there, so he's not there. So let's now run the play again. I'm going to go back to the safety. Hold on. Now we'll watch the play. We'll go to this replay. Center goes in. Now let's take a look at where the center goes this time. So the center is going to go, and he wants to pick up that linebacker. So it's all about targeting. Look, see how the center targets him? That is why now that middle linebacker comes in free.
Are they both on the same assignment or no?
One's on a hook, one's on a buzz. So let's try it. Let's put hard flats out there. Or they're both on hooks, actually. Yeah, there you go. So here it is. Hard flats, go. There it is, every time, baby. It's like Novocaine. It's very
so you got to just find one play that works. What's this 4-3?
This is 4-3 normal. Cover 3 sky. You ready? Do nothing. Don't press. Don't base a line. Do absolutely nothing. Make sure your middle linebacker can tackle.
What if you blitz all your linebackers? Let me just see what would happen.
I don't think it works because I think the targeting gets thrown off. Go ahead. He did move, but the targeting changes, so it doesn't work, right? So even this is the weird thing about it, right? Take a look at this. What if I use Ray? So now I'm using Ray. Go ahead, run the play. You see how it doesn't affect it?
Yeah.
It's because the targeting on the play goes right to left. So that then tells me I can use her.
Guy.
That's the linebacker I use her. But here's the problem. Now when you go ahead and flip it, that's when things can get bad.
Right. Because then
I now need to be on the other guy. I need to be on the other user. It's not as clean of a gap shoot. See how he's not shooting with it flipped?
Yeah.
That's what I can't understand yet. I haven't been able to crack the code because you run it flipped. Watch the middle linebacker. Remember how he was shooting the gap? Like, why is he not shooting the gap there? He sits there. He waits. He sits. He waits. He sits. He waits. He's not shooting. That to me is like the part that it confuses me. But it's still a very stout defense. Like my question is like if I flip it.
Seems like we've got a mystery.
Now, yeah, I flip it. Now you go ahead, run it flipped. Like I don't know. I haven't tried this yet.
There you go.
There you go. There you go. You want to see?
You flip it, I flip it.
Yeah.
We match.
You want to see what I think could be a pretty good D out of this? Is this 4-3 normal?
Yeah, you shouldn't be so worried about the stretch. I think as long as you spread everything out, if you think it's coming, and just scrape, get inside. Don't let the double team happen. You're good.
I also don't think you think that you could call cover 2. I don't think this works. Go ahead. 0-1 trap. I don't think. See how cover 2 doesn't work?
Yeah.
It doesn't work. You have to be in the cover 3 sky. And now, but this works though, right here, this play.
Cover 1? Cover
1's actually pretty fantastic. Or maybe not. Maybe it wasn't cover 1. It might have been a blitz. Because, well, here's another thing I had looked for, because I love this alignment right here. So if you pinch your linebackers and you spread your line, like I love that look as a run defense. You see how he shoots still?
Right.
So one thing I'll tell you is like it's about alignment, it's about positioning.
Yeah, so the Wham's very strange. Just to close out the Wham is like you don't want a guy near this the center because they block a guy for free. So it's like almost like if you're shopping at the grocery store and it's like buy one get one free, but you don't buy the second one, you just pay double because they add more price. It's like if the chicken's $10, the week you go into buy one get one free, it's $17.
Yeah.
So you're really not saving full buy one get one price. It's buy one get one.
Can you pass for me real quick? Keep going with your rant.
It's buy one get one.
That's tough.
Yeah.
I just invented that.
It's buy one get one free. The game is going to automatically let a guy through on purpose. So you almost you don't even have to let a guy through. It's the Wham. I'm gonna let a guy free.
Did you see this?
Pretty nice pass.
Yeah. Look how close they are.
Yeah, they're pretty close.
That's good heat.
It's pretty spicy.
What if I go cover 3? Sorry, this is what makes TWIM. What if I do this? Pass, please. Please work. Oh, I love it. I love that. That's tough. That could be tough.
What happened?
You're forced to Wait, I don't want to do that. Oops, I don't want to do that. Go back. Come here. It's the alignment of. Why is he blitzing there?
Let's reset that.
Okay. It's the alignment. It's like how close you get them. See where the linebackers go?
46?
No, this is 4-3.
4-3.
The problem. Okay. If I crashed.
Live lab here this week in Madden.
I don't want him on that gap. See how this guy goes to that gap?
Yeah.
I need him to not. So you might not be able to do it to this guy. If I crash down, he does go there. What I like is that you get how close you get him, these linebackers to blitz. So go ahead and pass. I have to find a way to get the right pressure, but the pressure is quick and it's a different look. That's what I don't know.
All right. That's how you can stop the stretch in Wham.
Show the Wham one more time. Do nothing.
All right, Wham. Do nothing. Oh, defense. There you go. All right. Let's keep pumping through the mailbag here. Got a couple minutes left. Remember, you can ask your questions each week. Go over to Twitter, send them in, and we'll get them on the show. Underdog wants to know, what's the best West Coast offense for a horizontal passing? If you want to do a horizontal passing attack, if you got any plays you would like. I mean, not necessarily.
Nice.
It sounds like you want to do something, but there's really only a couple routes that attack horizontally. Like West Coast, right? What does that mean? Well, that means that you don't really run the ball. You get the ball out to your halfbacks in space.
Run plays,
You use those as your run plays. So what does that mean? Well, that means you're going to be throwing a lot of these to the halfback. You should have those on both sides. There's gun two-back. The play shakes.
Yep.
That has 2 table routes coming out of the backfield like that. Like, that's something I would do.
Split close is probably a good set to think of if you really want to run a horizontal passing scheme.
The 5-wide set where you have the drags, like the levels concept coming underneath. Basically, lots of drags, lots of trail. So, like, you have X, but then you have the tight end coming back underneath it. You want to go with some of these crosser plays, like we showed earlier with PA boot over. I just think West Coast passing is like a buzzword. It's not really anything like you want to go with. I wouldn't worry about like what you call your passing attack. Just throw more drags, throw more flat patterns. If you don't want to throw deep patterns downfield, posts and verticals, just you really only can run ins, outs, drags, flat patterns. You can still win a lot of games with that. All right, let's keep going through the mailbag right now. Right now, we're working with Seattle offensive playbook. Okay. How to scramble and look downfield. This one's from Raichu.
It's going to be you, Farls.
I like this question. So he wants to know, how do I scramble and keep my eyes downfield? Very good question. It's difficult. I'll say there's a couple different things you can do. And sometimes I'm even guilty of looking a little bit too much not downfield, just looking at my quarterback. So, like, before the snap, if you have your guys way spread out, and it's like, I'll almost predetermine my read that I'm going to scramble, because you really need to hit the timing of the drop back to make your quarterback have as good of speed as possible. And what I mean is, you need to press the right trigger to get your quarterback to scramble. And so you want to press it right now. Like, see how he was like kind of moving? Like, he'll end up getting more momentum that way. I like to get into that, even if I still might throw the ball. I'll try and do that. Unless I know I'm going to hang tough in the pocket because I'm looking for like a route downfield. So if I'm looking for a route deep downfield, I will not scramble. I'll stay in the pocket, hang tough, try and step up, try and step up, try and step up. See what I can do. Now I'm playmaker. Now I'm going to roll. I got my eyes upfield, 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 and I throw there. There's a behavior that the receivers do that is a key to my scrambling like ability, and it's this right here. So let's watch B. So B, right. So didn't have time to get it through right there. Let's see. I'll tell you when he does the behavior. So B is going to be open, Y is going to be open, X is going to be open. See how all three of them just did the same behavior? So I'll show you that behavior. And it wasn't ideal because they were running too vertical. Usually they run a little bit more horizontal. This behavior, to me, is the most valuable thing because it pretty much guarantees your receiver's going to get open. And it's more consistent than you would think. Normally, this route goes more towards the middle. He ran it more vertical, like I said, because then you can pass lead it upfield. So that was the first guy. And notice, it's once they're on the sideline for a little bit. He went too vertical as well. And then Nelson, he went a little bit more. He went a little bit more. So you could immediately, the minute you see him do that, you know he's going, and you know where he's going because you've seen the behavior multiple times. So I'm always looking at that as one of my things.
So how would you? So going off of that, a good way to run like a good offense around that would be like go to gun bunch tight end here.
So people do this, right? They put their halfback on this route.
Yeah.
And then once he gets there, like they playmaker him.
Playmaker him, yeah.
Like I just saw that guy get double teamed and fall down. Like I'm gonna scramble.
Sure.
Like at that situation, I'm gonna play a one-on-one game with your user like at all times. So for gun bunch tight end, I would say me and Bennett. Like you'll consistently, the more you call a play, you'll know the timing of a route and who you're gonna get on your playmaker. So here, I would scramble right now. I can't now, so now I know I need to, like, so X. Like, he ran that same thing, because he was on an out pattern. He went to the sideline. He bounced, and then we hit him.
Scramble drill.
So send pressure from the left. So, like, if I start to see somebody that's going to blitz all game long, or is sending pressure from the left, I'll start to roll, like, as quick as I can, and then I'll start to get into, like, one-on-one games with the flat defender that I'm rolling towards and that. And just the more and more confident you get with a play, the less you have to look at where your receivers are because you know where they are. You really have to kind of look and navigate, like see who's coming in. So let's do just one random. We'll do one snap. I'll tell you where I'm looking. So line, okay, nothing came in. Out receivers. Then I would look to receivers. At that point, I would then look back down to see if I can scramble. Because at a certain point, when your read, like, so say, pretend I misplay, all my reads are locked. So I look at the line, look at the line. Okay, my reads are locked. Now I got to figure out what to do. Okay, I'm going to roll out. Now I'm looking downfield, 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 checking my quarterback. Downfield, downfield, downfield. Now I throw. So, snap of the ball, look at the quarterback just to make sure nothing weird happened. Then I look at my reads. But then I know if my reads aren't there, there's no point in keep looking because no one's going to be open. I should probably then throw the ball away. Then I check my quarterback, see if I need to throw the ball away. I roll, change the angle, change the routes, things break down. Then I will playmaker. So look, nothing, okay. So that's another piece is you contain right there. I can tell. It's very easy to see when somebody's contain rushing or when they win on that edge. And so I'm just not going to roll out of the pocket like in that situation. I'm going to make sure I stay in. But yeah, it's something you get used to. Make sure you slide.
Do you think it's something you can practice? You can go into practice mode and someone can practice it?
I don't think you should do it in practice mode. I think you should do it in real games. you should just call a bunch of off. Start playing the computer. Like, the computer's the best person to learn how to scramble against because they won't, like, stop it like a human would. Because then you can get comfortable with the timing. Like a human, you'll scramble twice and then they put a QB spy and then the party's over. But a quarterback won't necessarily, like, do that. So right now I'm looking, I'm going to try A, and I see that A got open. But it's just by calling the same play over and over and over again, you learn the pacing, the rhythm, who's going to be the playmaker, when things break down, when you should get rid of the ball, and that's just the timing that you get. So it's pretty simple. But like QB contain here, rush 3 and QB contain. Like, easiest thing in the world is to scramble against QB contain. Yeah, you can't scramble outside, but like it's so obvious that your dude is
because they like mush rush.
Yeah, they fake rush. So as long as you don't go outside, I mean, he's containing.
Right.
Bam. Easy. Same thing with the double team. Like, I know if I get the double team,
you're good.
That I can scramble because there's no way you're going to be able to break off. Even if you don't contain them, I might get a double team on the ends. And like there, I'm getting a double team. Well, I got it for a second. And you can start. I meant to throw to X, but you can start to step up in the pocket and get there. So that's where my eyes go on plays like that.
I think that's a valuable tip that I think can help a lot of people. If I were you, go back and watch that tomorrow on YouTube because that's a valuable tip. I think that's one thing that you don't see. Like, that's one. I would say it's probably one of your strongest aspects of your game. You're phenomenal at it. You're really good at it. And I think people need to practice more.
So don't contain here.
You set your plays up, though. You set these plays up. Like, you'll put guys on drags. I know you do it because I play you all the time. And a lot of times when I'm playing you, I go, he's not even running plays. He's running plays to play a scramble drill.
Yeah.
And what is difficult about that is I never know. I don't ever really have a read on what you're going to do because I don't know. Is he going to scramble? Because if I blitz here, he just has his quick hot read, and then he tries to scramble. He tries to block everybody, and then scramble, and then playmaker somebody.
Right.
It's really, really difficult to defend. You do it really well against me.
Yeah, and so those are a couple things. Like you just get more and more comfortable with it the more and more you call certain plays. That's basically all you got to know. And just figuring out what the game is going to allow you to do. And then, like, knowing not to slide. Like, you have to get... You can't just get 5 and slide. Like, there's a good chance they're not going to be able to tackle you the first...
Go over one more time. Jeffrey Allen in the chat, he said QB contain will stop this. LOL. It will stop the outside rush, but what it doesn't is actually gives up the middle rush wide open.
Yeah.
Especially if you plan for it. If it's planned for and it's part of what you do offensively, you could even get out of the pocket there because they got double teamed.
Right. If they get double teamed on a spy, then you know you're good.
On a contain, doesn't matter. You're going to get out wide.
Yeah. Those are some things you can do. Check it out. All right. Next question in the mailbag here is from Ask the Heel. He wants to know, do you have any tips for subbing in-game? So this is at the play call menu. I'll go through offense games if you want to go through defense. So
sure.
Couple things I'll do. So this is basically how you sub players in. Number 1, RB. Use RB, use the D-pad. You can cycle to any position and sub a guy in. Very easy. In Mutt, sometimes I'll put in a pocket passer who's more accurate than my scrambler to throw in the red zone if I'm going to do high points. Sometimes I'll put in a trucking back if I'm at the goal line, or a fullback, or I'll take a fullback out who's a blocking fullback and put in a big trucking back like a LeGarrette Blount. I'll put a taller receiver in. On the outside, Jordy Nelson's already in, but say Cobb was in, I would press A, put Jordy Nelson in because I want to throw a high point in the end zone. I'll sometimes take out a slow receiver and put in a burner on the outside or on the slot if I think I have an advantage. So those are a couple different things that I'll do. Now you can use the right stick to get packages, and those are some options too. I just like to do RB. The thing about doing RB though is, like, say early in the game you sub Aaron Rodgers out of this because you want to try and sneak in one read option with Brett Hundley. Boom. Well, Brett Hundley then stays in the game until you put Aaron Rodgers back in, or like backup.
You lose your ability to call the package.
Yeah, and then you can't go to the backup quarterback package if he's in there. So those are some things to note with the RB subs on offense. But yeah, basically, to get a mismatch, whether it's speed or height of receiver, a style of halfback, whether it's catching or trucking, And then quarterback, potentially. Sometimes tight ends I'll mix up if I have a really good blocking tight end. Sometimes I'll put a tight end at receiver. So say Richard Rodgers was a really good blocker, I would sub him in there. And that's one thing I would do to get some advantages. Defensively, Gibbs, what do you like to do for RB subs?
It's virtually the same thing. So the example would be this, right? Like if I'm in 3-3-5 here, the way I would set this defense up if I'm going to run a lot of cover 2, I want to make sure that my middle linebacker in this case would be my best like coverage backer because I need to drop him into deep coverage. So I wouldn't in this case want it to be Vontaze Burfict, right? So it's really about the position of the field and it's about knowing your defense. So in this case, I know I want a user 59, whoever 59 is, it's Vigil. So I would then look at it and go, okay, who's the best user player?
Fastest, tallest, most agile.
Right. And then I'm probably gonna put Vontaze Burfict ISO by himself because he's gonna have good. He's got good play recognition. He's good with awareness. Good player. And then I would user. If it's Ray was my best overall linebacker for coverage, I'd put him there. And then I'm gonna user. In this case, 59, I'm going to use her. Let's say it is Minter. Minter's the guy I want to use her, right? So that's how that would work from there. It's based on the formation, how I personally use it, and then who my user guys are, the way I want to run it, and then go from there. The next example off that is, now, I am running a lot of cover 2 right now. I'm also very aware of the 91 zone coverage meta that exists currently. I actually like 90 zone. I know people are saying 91, team 91, but that's okay. So what I do is I'm aware of that, and I say, okay, I play a ton of cover 2 zone. So what I now do is I take out Chris Harris, a starting corner, I put him at the deep safety, and I put Eric Weddle as my other deep safety. Okay, so now I have 2 really good zone coverage deep safeties, and then on the outside I take out coverage players, and I put in big hit sticks. Right, I put in Steve Atwater. I put in a Rodney Harrison out there.
Must be nice to have Rodney Harrison.
Hey, I got Twitch Prime Legend. What? Twitch Prime Legend. So, what I like about that, that's the way I will play. I adapt my defense for that. I'm not going to play a ton of man on this set. If I'm going to play man, I'd go to a quarter set and I would make sure that I have all good man coverage guys out there.
One tip I would recommend when you're RB subbing guys in is to almost have like a checklist at the start of a game that you want to get to. Yeah. What happens to me is, like, right now, at the start of the game, I'm on defense, I go to 3-5, and I'm able to change out all 4 corners into how I want them. The corners and the safeties, I can swap them in the 13 seconds I have when he picks his play. I can't do linebackers unless he doesn't pick a play quickly, but I can do linebackers on the second play of the game because I have enough time to switch the linebacker here to DN and then move a guy around. What I don't have enough time to do is then go to like dime and change guys, quarter change guys. So then it'll be like the end of the half, and I'll want to go to quarters to play man defense, and the strong safeties lined up on a guy, and I forget. So like you want to have a checklist of things you want to do. On third down, I should go to dime, even if I'm not going to call dime, but I should set my dime up, then go back to nickel. Same thing offensively. I don't use this wing thing until I get down into the red zone, but like if I have time, why not set it up how I'm going to use it? And then, like I said, don't forget that you put in, your trucking back to run halfback wham in the end zone, and now you're going to run a stretch, and now you got LeGarrette Blount with 82 speed running a stretch later in the game, especially when like you're now in the 2-minute drill in the fourth quarter, and you don't really have time to RB sub. That's bad. Because that's when you need it. Do it when you have the time. Take a timeout in the first half if you need to. Have a checklist. Okay, I need to change my nickel, change my dollar, and sub this in. Like, have a list of things you want to do. Next question in the mailbag here. This one is from Lane Herbie. Wants to know, Gibbs, you got any pressure from the 4-3 defense? Anything you like to do out of that?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, guys, really, pressure, you could get pressure from any formation, anything you really want. I think you have to have the mindset that I'm gonna hover. I'm gonna get in the belly of the defense. I'm gonna find a way to get a guy free. So the example would be this, right? If I come out 4-3 under here, let's just come out here. Here's the alignment. I haven't labbed this. I haven't practiced this, but I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna shift my line left, right? A better alignment. I'm gonna crash it out, And then I want to let's just leave Ray there by default and just not do anything and go ahead and snap the ball.
No hover?
Yeah, no hover. Okay, gets picked up, right? The line slides, makes a play. But now if you get in there, you have a couple options. You could blitz another guy to get him in, right? Another resource. Or your goal is to get the attention of an offensive lineman long enough so that they don't slide over appropriately and block them unless you tell them to slide with slide protection or block your halfback. So so in this instance, I haven't tried this, but I'm going to hover here right over this guard, snap of the ball. You can see now a DN comes in, or D tackle comes in off the edge. I mean, that is going to work for you. Now, there's a lot of bad things that can happen with this, okay? So first of all, the bad things that can happen with this are you get stuck in the gap against the run, and now I only have one linebacker playing back there, right? I only have one linebacker. Now I'm stuck. You cut that up, you're one-on-one against him. If he goes the wrong way, it's bad news bears, right? So we're going to do that again. Watch, I'm going to get stuck in this gap here after the run the ball. I get sucked in there, and now you got to make a play against the linebacker, right? So that's one thing that's bad about it. Your coverage can hurt a little bit because you can't get back as far, right?
If I can pop it to Bennett, you can't quite get there.
So the example is if I do this type of thing, I'm forced to. I guess I can't do it here. Anyways, I'd be forced to play this guy to play a deep middle. So let's say I'd be forced to put Cobb on that route there. This really then limits what I can use her. Right, I can really
have to go to Bennett,
but I have to stay a second long
right,
to make sure it comes in, and then I'm in trouble because I can't get to a lot of places. So while it's effective, it's also not good. It's also you do it long enough, you're going to get burnt by it by a good player. Whether it's the run game, whether it's those quick passes, you can't get to places, so just be aware of that. But you should be able to generate pressure by hovering, right? I mean, if I want to blitz off both edges, right, like. It looked like something like this. Get in front of the center. Now you can see pressure off the edges.
Yeah, there you go. There's a little bit of 4-3. Some pros and cons to the hover. You're going to see a lot of good players do it. I like it because it forces me at the snap to be active with the user. If I'm standing back already, then maybe at snap I don't move as quickly because I'm not as concerned about dropping. But if I'm hovering, it's like, man, I got to run with that guy. And then I just get super active. I get that momentum going early in the play, and then I keep it throughout the play by being tender with the left stick with the user.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's keep going through the mailbag here. The fans love the stash. It is electric. It is TWIM 239. Dylan MD wants to know any guide to formation and personnel matching. So he's brand new to the game, Gibbs.
Yeah.
So Dylan. When you're on defense, Dylan, there's a couple things you want to do. Number one, never pick your play, ever.
Oh, yeah.
Until your offense picks the play. The defense, it's the one advantage you have. The offense picks their play. It tells you what they picked by how many players are coming out at each position, and then you adjust. So, essentially, Dylan, here's what I'd recommend to you. If you want to become a good player, start calling more nickel defense as much as you can, right? In general, if you go to nickel, you can stop anything, anytime, anywhere. You can match up against single back, wing tight. Ooh. You can match up against single back, wing tight. You can match up against gun 5 wide. Now, is it ideal? Should you do it every play? No, it's not ideal. But if you're in nickel, you can do it every single play. And nickel has 3-3-5. It's got 2-4-5 in normal. Like all it basically has it as 3 linemen, 3 linebackers, and 1 extra corner. So you can kind of get it done. But if you want to get good, anytime you see single back or I form, which is going to say 2 halfbacks or 1 halfback and 2 tight ends. Anything less than 3 receivers. Anything less than 3 receivers, you come out in 4-3. You come out in 3-4. 3-4 odd cover 4 or 4-3 wide 9 cover 4. Is that what you would say to come out in?
Mm-hmm.
So anytime you see less than 3 receivers. Anytime you see 3 receivers or more, you would come out in... and a lot of people use the tight end as a receiver. You can then learn, is it a blocking tight end and he's trying to pound the rock? Like, is it a heavy, strong tight end who can't really catch? Or is it an athletic Tony Gonzalez type guy who's basically a receiver? So anytime you see 3 receivers or more, you come out in nickel or higher. And you match up. You basically want to match the number of receivers with the number of corners. And the corners go, lowest is 4, 3, and 3, 4. Doesn't really matter what you choose.
Yep.
Nickel second for 3 and 3. Dime for 4 and 4. Quarters 5, 5 wide. Those are some options. What do you see here as far as matching goes?
I'm less about I don't look at personnel and say I need to match my personnel.
But if you're a noob,
I would say everything you said too complicated. I would tell them to call 3-4 odd, cover 4, drop show 2.
Even if it's against 5 wide.
Yeah. I mean, if you're noob and you're just so new, I would tell you need to call 3-4, like, because the 3-4 is going to give you better run defense than the 3-3-5 normal. So really, if you're a beginner player, you just need to call a 3-4 odd, cover 4, drop show 2.
What playbook's got it?
Just about every single 3-4 book will have it, but not every playbook in the game is 3-4 rather, right? So you're going to get about a 50-50 split. So roughly 16 playbooks in the game have it. There's I can't even run them off. You got Chiefs. I can't even think of it in the moment. It's too difficult to think. But 3-4 odd, cover 4, drop show 2 is your friend. Once you get into a rhythm, start winning more games, then move on to what Farls is saying.
So call that play. Use it a linebacker. And I'll say it's frustrating. Sgibs will call 4-4, which is 4 D linemen, 4 linebackers, only 3 corners. It's like super aggressive goal line style defense. I'll go 5 wide because I'll go, well, I'll match up John Ross very fast against his linebacker who shouldn't even be out past the numbers. And I can't do anything because the pressure's coming in. So like it doesn't really. Yes, it would be better if you didn't have that linebacker there, but for the most part, you're going to be fine. Call that 3-4 odd, stack it all game, play as the middle linebacker, one of the guys on the hooks. Don't worry about getting beat, and unless they come out in goal line or unless they and you want to blitz from 3, you want to send some pressure because you think they're going to run it, or if you want to pass commit, like really, if you want to pass commit against 5 wide from the 3-4 odd, those are like the small adjustments you need to make as a new player. That will be good. No,
there's good question in the chat from or answer from Primetime. It's not that this fourth cover 4 isn't good. What is good about it? We'll get to it in a second here. So the question in the chat is, well, why wouldn't you just call like a 4-3 over cover 4, 4-3 cover 4? It's not that this isn't good. You can make this into the cover 4 drop show 2 from 3-4 by hot routing the DN to a hook, and you now have the same successful
because you're rushing 3 versus rushing 4.
Right, but the difference is if you're a beginner player, you don't know how to do that. And you know what? I don't want to force that upon you at this stage in the game. You just need to, in order for you to keep playing and want to keep playing, like you need to have some instant success. You need to have some instant wins and feel like, like, you need to worry about, I'm just going to use this guy on the hook.
Oh, yeah, I'm just going to use this guy on the hook. Okay, he threw a corner out. All right,
I'm going to play cover down.
Stood near the corner route.
Right.
He threw it anyways, but I stood near it. Okay, I went to the corner route. He threw a route behind it. I lost. But I understand why I lost. It's because I got to do both. Like, you'll get better. You'll stop losing 50-7. You'll start losing 35-10.
Yeah.
24-10, 24-10. But at least then you're like, whatever, I'm improving. This defense is good. Now that I call this 100% of the time, what if I called it 80%? Mm-hmm. And the other 20% I learned 1 blitz. One blitz. How much better would I be?
So the reason we're saying the 3-3-5 normal and the 3-4 are your better friend. And let's be serious, like those defenses are also really good for advanced players because they're great coverage right now, right? So it's not just a noob thing, it's how you are currently playing this year's game to be successful, right? So, but the reason we're saying that is because the extra coverage you get, in my opinion, far outweighs the extra pressure you would potentially get from a pass rusher.
From one rusher,
From one pass rusher that's not a blitz. If it was a blitz, we might be talking a little bit different, right? But it's just a standard pass rush. I personally believe there's more value in having that defender in coverage than rushing the quarterback.
I would agree with that for sure. I would definitely agree. All right, that is it for the mailbag questions. We're going to lock in on the game of the week where we play
You playing
against
this
some
time?
folks. Yeah, I'm playing. You think I'm going to let you play again after that?
After
what?
After
what?
you now finally learned how to pass and play defense, you're gonna go out and play.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
So we do have one question, Gibbs. The fans are demanding to know, how do you win the first quarter versus problem right?
What do you mean?
They asked. That was
Who
the question
asked
they wanted
that?
to know. Sgibs tips. How to win the first quarter versus problem right?
Don't make me do that.
How'd you beat problem in the first quarter last week?
I'm not answering that. I didn't beat
TWIM
him.
game of the week 238.
He crushed me. No, that's disrespectful to him.
It was 56-3.
I know. I was there. I
But
played.
you were
it.
up 3-0 at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah.
They want to know how you did it.
No, they don't.
They're dying to know.
No, you're.
Chat, press 1 if you're dying to know how Sgibs held a 3-0 lead
Nope.
versus problem.
Nope. I think I ran the whole first quarter out. I think it was time of possession.
Yeah. All right. You got any team of the weeks that you like? See, they're dying to know.
Kendricks. I love the Kendricks. One of the best users going right now.
You see any of the new team of the weeks?
CJ Mosley, I believe, looked pretty nice.
Got one more week.
I'm gonna tell you that Kendricks, just his shift ability, like he's so
Agile.
shifty. He's
agility.
agility. He's so shifty.
All right. Okay. Let's go into Ultimate Team here. We'll lock in with our gold offensive line. It's a gold offensive line challenge here on the game of the week. You gonna coach me through the Pats thing?
Pats.
Or we'll go through Seahawks. I like Seahawks.
You're gonna do Seahawks. Why are you gonna what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, we got one more mailbag question. Remember, you can ask your mailbag questions each week here on This Week in Madden, and we'll break them down for you. Capmaster wants to know where to tank in salary cap. So salary cap's a mode that you can play if you don't have the best MUT team that there is, and you want to change your lineup. You can view salary cap lineups. You have to fit your whole roster under 700 cap. I'm at 699 with this team. So you can put really good players at some positions, but then you need to have, places where you save cap. So, Gibbs, in your opinion, what are some salary cap spots where you'll save some coins?
For me, where I would save coins would be my D-line. I would look for value there. Because I'm looking for athletic guys at the defensive line. A lot of times because it depends on how you play, but like where I'm looking for value is those DN spots, because if I'm going to blitz, I don't necessarily need those guys to generate pressure.
You just need them
right?
to occupy
space. I need them to take up space. And right now, the way this current game is, you're really sort of, you got to go heavy on your safety play and
Correct.
or your corner play.
So this salary cap lineup's a little bit older. These are two really good budget free safeties, but I think with the way Ultimate Team is playing right now, with the value you get from players at a 90 to 91, and I get that they're expensive, players that have that, you almost need these two guys, or you need the ability to sub in two players like a Bouye or a Harris or a Weddle with that 90 to get them into these positions. These positions used to be great ways to tank because they're tall, fast, good hit power. Or good big hitter traits necessarily, these two guys. But I think that meta has shifted a bit. Like I said, got to get in the lab. You notice don't have a speedy user linebacker here, but I do have two fast backers. Those are two pretty good options you can mix in. Offensive line, a lot of people like to tank. It's up to you. Do you try and just put in elite tackles? Do you try and just put in elite middle? That's up to you as well. Do you like to run to the right and pass block to the left? Like, who knows? It's really... You do definitely want one elite stud receiver that they have to worry about covering deep down the
Halfback
field.
should be a stud too.
You think so?
Yeah.
See, I'm into, I think quarterback, because you can't be overthrowing
Right.
big throws.
Right.
I wouldn't go with like Phil Rivers at the end of the day. Here, I think this team is not optimized because I don't have a third receiver. I would definitely need to get a third receiver. And then defensively, I would want to get... I had built this a little bit more for cover 2 style defense, but I like to play a little bit more man. It's tough in man, though, because you need so many more big cap guys to get involved. I would probably get rid of Von Miller because you can do what he does with many other players for my defense. So those are some areas you can think about tanking. You have to tank. You know, there's 4 areas you can tank: offensive line, defensive line, linebackers, like fullback, tight end, safeties. Those are some spots you can tank, and you have to kind of tank like 2 of those 5 areas to get enough dudes in. I definitely think you build powerful and tank, not build balanced. I think that is wise. Let's lock
you
in
gonna play
here.
a game?
Absolutely.
You gonna win? I hope you match up against Problem.
Why would you hope that? Why would you wish that upon anybody? You saw what happened last week. Gibbs, you got demolished. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
I'm in the playoffs. Why did I grow a mustache? I didn't grow a mustache. The mustache grew me. It was good. Alright, we are in the divisional playoffs.
You beat Franchise?
Beat Franchise in the wild card. Not happy to see matched up against him, but we got a 17-14 victory, and it was good.
I thought they said you weren't good anymore.
That's what they say, Gibbs.
I am too.
That's what they say.
So.
I will post that on YouTube. If you guys want to see it, make sure to subscribe. Go over to youtube.com/Sgibs for Gibbs. It stands for Stannis Gibrons. Stannis Gibrons and ZFarls.
What is up with your insides? Why are they making noises?
Ate a lot of beans today.
Did you?
Yeah.
Is that why you have the stash?
It's the mustache.
I'm sitting here and all I keep hearing is your inside just going.
You guys sure I'm still in the salary cap lineup? They're saying I'm in the salary cap lineup.
That's on you.
Can we quit out if we are?
No. Yeah, you're going to be a guy that quits, and then that's on
I've
you.
never actually quit a game.
I don't know when the last time I quit a game was. Madden 07.
So, like,
Back when I
quit a game in world's longest time.
Reckless.
34. You guys sure I'm in salary cap? We're about to find out.
Charles and I settled here
No,
in the
you got
booth.
it.
This should be a fun one. Madden Ultimate Team matchup. As you get a look at some of the stars here of today's game. Let's get right to it.
You're good.
All right, are you coaching?
Yeah.
Even though you're not a great...
What was that guy's screen name?
Reckless 34 with a 3?
Oh!
No, he didn't. Yeah, nothing happens there.
You're on rookie first string?
I won my last Super Bowl. Sorry, I don't play a lot of games. I play a lot of Mud Draft. Man of the people. I'm man of the people. What's your record?
He's
Chris?
on rookie. Me?
What's your record, Stannis?
I'm like 16-15.
You've lost 15 times?
Mm-hmm.
You stink.
I'm in all Madden second string.
I'm 19-3 with a Super Bowl.
Oh,
I was on like a
66-20.
That's not. You lied.
I thought I was that was my record.
You lied.
I was ballparked. Ballpark, bro.
Ballpark Franks.
Mm-hmm.
Plump and juicy. Plump and juicy. Plump and juicy. Plump and juicy. Plump and juicy.
You gonna win?
Reckless 34. Should we report that? Nah. We'll let him slide. We'll let him slide.
Oh, you know a guy?
I'm a bit of a detective.
You're not a detective.
This
Let me
mustache.
see that
says
thing. Let me
otherwise.
see it. By the way, that's a weak stash.
I'm working on it. It hasn't been that long.
That is
it's a
so-
hurricane stash. It's
That's-
electric.
That is so weak.
Who do you like for flashbacks?
Edelman. Route running. Fantastic.
85 speed.
Route running. Need it. Corners.
It's good. Does it prevent breakage?
What?
Have you seen theories?
Oh, yeah.
Counters.
I mean, I like his outside breakability. That's what I like about it.
Low pass?
Oh, yeah.
Can you give us the art of the low pass?
Depends on the sideline, but if you're throwing left...
See this right here?
No. If it's left, I'm not looking at your gross...
Look at that. You know what that's from?
What, Farls?
Blue collar work.
Like what?
Like raking after the hurricane. Cleaning up. Big cut. Wound. Gash. Hurt. Ow. Rake.
Do you see that cut?
Blisters.
Do you see that cut?
Blisters. Blue collar work.
Do you see that? That's...
My hand. Blisters. Irma.
All I gotta say is this. I moved ZFarls' grill
Because he lost.
All by myself. All by myself. I moved it by myself. I had no help. And, yeah, it does. And guess what? That same grill that I moved from his backyard into his garage during his hurricane, because I'm a very nice friend, because he wasn't able to do it himself. I moved it myself. I sandbagged your house. I did a lot of stuff for you.
You did.
And then this gentleman, he couldn't move the grill back himself. He needed to get help.
No, I could have. Chose not to.
He got help. He got help.
I chose not to. I started moving it.
All right, Farls, let's go.
All right, so 3-3-5. Here's what I do. Bouye. He comes out. I go back. I go Landon. I go Chris. I go Steve. And then I go Rod.
Hurry up, get your play.
Yeah.
Do you do your linebackers?
I do them after the second.
DC Neutron knows I was a beast during the game.
Halfback Wham.
But you got 4-3, right?
I don't know.
You got JJ Watt. Oh. What are you in? Hold on.
I'm in the Bengals.
All right, go to. Just do it.
What is it? Normal?
Oh no, he's in 3-3-5. I basically look at that wound. Do you see that wound?
Really?
See that wound? It's still a scab. I still got a scab. You see this?
Yeah, look at that. We're cut.
I still got a scab.
And on the outside, they're playing
Oh,
press
good.
coverage.
Okay.
You have to watch out. Yeah, the post is taken away. You got to take away
The right corner?
the slant. The slant. JJ Watt playing big.
JJ's beasting. JJ's
Here's-
beasting.
Here's what you got to do if you get that again, Farls. Ready? You have to quickly drop to the slant, drop to the corner.
What's the slant?
The slant's a far out receiver. Once you
If
have
he
that
leaves
wheel.
him on it.
Watch for bench here. Watch for bench.
Far
What?
flat?
No. 35 is good. It's great. That's fine. Early in the game, you don't want to give him the big play.
That one will go as a gain of 11.
He goes back
Raiders
to the
having a
Wham.
first down as well.
I can't believe you beat Franchise. Franchise is a good player.
Yeah.
Franchise is one of the best
Yeah, that
players.
wasn't the first option.
Are you sure you beat him? Wham,
Maybe.
wham, cover 3 sink. Cover 3.
From normal?
Yeah, cover 3 sky. Do nothing.
And just do nothing?
Use the safety and get ready for a post.
Okay.
Get on. Oh, he's not in it. Damn. Cloud flats. Just get him underneath.
Now a play fake here on first down.
Big. Chris Harris, dude, when I tell you Chris Harris, like AJ Bouye, with all due respect, stinks compared to Chris Harris.
Chris Harris is so good.
Chris Harris is absurd.
So good. So good.
You like the way this lineup is set up?
Yeah, you want Julio, you want Brown. That's exactly what I got. That's exactly it. Yeah. Because Brown's
I'm
got
gonna
the
throw
route.
this. It's cover 3.
Yeah, he's unless he's got hard
Unless
flats.
he zooms out.
You're good. You got it. Do you not throw that route?
I do.
How good is it?
A lot of the players that have been playing recently, they guys zoom out.
Hard flats.
Yeah.
The corner should open. We gotta start trusting that corner. We gotta start trusting that corner more.
Alright, this is cover 2?
Just throw the post. Okay, yeah. Streak back him.
Or
Drag
should we
Jones.
throw the post?
Should
we throw the post?
Just go.
You think that guy's blitzing off the left edge?
I would block. You need time for this route to develop. I keep him in. Go. You got covered too.
Shotgun now.
Got X.
A little longer.
I'd go back to that if I were you. I'd just throw underneath.
Antonio Brown,
Throw underneath
the intended
to
receiver.
me.
And now it's second down. Brown
He's in the
maybe
same.
best
Should I go to Julio?
out in the NFL, but he might have
Sure,
his
if you
hands
want.
full here. He's
I
gonna be
don't know.
starting
See how he's got his guy zoomed in? I think I scrambled too
game.
much.
He better
I don't
get
care,
used
dude,
to it.
come
Not
on.
an easy matchup.
He makes things difficult for receivers throughout the game. And a key
So right there, I could have thrown a different
Thank you
pass
for possession.
lead. I could have thrown a different pass lead and let it up the seam more.
Inside the 20-yard line.
Bench trail.
Throw flat corner.
Up at 34 yards. And now
Go,
first down
PA boot
following
over.
that long gain.
PA boot over.
Give me Jones on the in. Give me Johnson on the out. And motion Jones to the right.
Julio?
Yeah,
To the right.
to the right. Yep. He's a delayed read.
Who am I looking at?
You want to go to Johnson or Brown? Beckham
on the deep sideline.
Yeah, go. Or underneath route. Sure. Got RB. RB's going to be open. Y's wide open.
Threw it to neither one.
I threw it to neither one.
Threw it to the other guy. Think he's going Wham? Yeah. 4-3 normal? Cover 3 sky.
Use the safety. You could use her this guy. He's not in it. Cloud flats. Cloud flats, yeah. Hook. Use her hook. Yeah. Use the other hook. Balls out. Balls out.
Give me the foosball. Give me the foosball.
Todd.
We were doing good. We were anti-dot. Opposite of a dot. TOD.
Dot.
What's that panic that we've talked about oftentimes that you feel when you lose the ball?
You can sense it.
Oh, you can sense it. And somehow he got to it and was able to recover it for his squad.
Double's weak. Tough. Slants.
Slant from one side, corner from the other.
That one will go as a gain of 11. Raiders having a first down as well.
I had Jones on it in
for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
What did he do from this?
They ran into a first down, executed it to perfection.
He hit you on drag. He was looking for downfield. I was there covered.
On 1st and 10.
Good user.
Good D.
Escaping this time as he'll go down.
JJ Watt. You see the new Chris Jones that came out?
No.
Like JJ Watt. Team of the week.
Chris Jones, like the old school Patriots guy? Are you?
So I'm looking to an Olsen on an out. Olsen on a corner. 3 crosser.
4 verts. Whoa! Balls out! Balls out! Balls out!
Yeah, I'm
See, that's why you put Landon Collins in there.
Yeah. Smart.
Ooh, we hitting.
Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughs it up and says, geez, what did he do? But hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
I'm in the Bengals switch.
Motion him out again.
Which guy?
Brown.
Congratulations, big time play.
Make him defend.
Open.
Open. Throw it. You force him to. You force a hard flat. You make him have a hard flat. Make him have a hard flat. All right,
10 seconds left. Do I go to?
Go to halfback draw. Go halfback draw.
Halfback
draw. Get cheap up. Get cheap up. You like this? Yeah, get cheap up. Yeah, go. It's not rushing.
But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did.
Corner flat corner.
I want you. No, probably inside. Hitch.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up
It's
second down here.
To the left or to the right?
Left. Oh, he's in cover 2. Do this streak X, put Y on an in. You're going to motion Beckham out. Don't do it yet. You're going to motion Jones out. You're going to read on the left side. It's open. His user should go away, and you should have B over the middle of the field.
Like on delay.
Yeah. So it goes away.
Rodgers to throw on second down.
Do it again. You can do that same thing.
How about that stupid play you always want to run that never works?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Drag the tight end. No motion, just snap. You're gonna
Snap and just throw to X.
Snap, hezzy, throw to him. Yeah.
To X.
Yeah.
Blind read.
Yes. You're long, single back wing.
Oh yeah. This is phenomenal.
You're welcome.
Phenomenal. I'll tip my cap.
Get Mike Evans to the far left. I want you to come out and stretch.
I go stretch. Yeah.
Just do the right thing. I kind of like the stretch here. He's inside. Oh yeah. It's juicy. Get that. Okay. No HUD. Play action. Fade Gronk. Or RB. Fade RB. Block Johnson. We're going to crib shot to Mike Evans. You got to block Johnson. There you go. And point. Kobe. Oh!
Mike.
This thing you still got it again.
third
You
down
could
here.
go back to attack.
One
Though,
thing
just
that
in
I've liked
case.
defensively is that they've shown
RB
a lot
fade,
of
B
different
fade.
looks here in the first half. They've come
I didn't
after
text a
it,
quick
sat
on the
back.
what.
I think that's what you need to do to keep it off.
I kind of like
They
Kelsey
certainly
here.
have kept them on their toes. That's why
But
they
you gotta
haven't
make.
had
You
much
have to make
success
the
on
read. I
the
can't. 'Cause Kelsey.
Rodgers now on 3rd and goal. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted.
Yep. Oh.
Darius Slay with a pick.
The ZFarls play of the day.
He fell down.
And a very good return as he'll take it all
Oh,
the way
Man, that
to the
stinks, man.
40-yard line.
That stinks.
So that's back-to-back drives.
No, I didn't even win the first quarter.
Hey, Rodney J just said I'm waiting for Farls to cover his nose. Well, it just happened.
Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
How did he not? JJ Watt stud my friend.
Right.
He'll lose yardage back at the 38. That's going to go as a loss of
Your
2 and
inside's
it'll be
okay,
second
man?
down.
Don't forget about finding a lane there. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Probably fortunate he's able to hold on to the football.
Back to throw.
Right.
And Olsen over the
Ooh,
middle.
Stevie.
And he'll be taken down at the 46
Yeah, he did
yard
4.
line.
So he doesn't have it that he's in bunch offset formation.
That was a positive play because that was a take what
Split
you
close.
can get situation.
Watch the slant to Moss corner. Oh, PA flat. Crossers.
Convert on 3rd down.
Sticks.
Right side caught by Green.
Your insides are driving me nuts here, man.
Anything I feel.
Just go.
Give the defensive guys a little bit of credit. They didn't let the deep ball beat them
He's
on
gonna
that
run
play,
right.
did they?
Guaranteed. Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Can be your safety valve. We saw it right there.
Crawl. Split close. There's the corner. There's the corner. Got it.
Scream.
And the giant rush gets home as down he goes.
That should like barely cover, but
A minute
it
59
does.
to go in the first half. We're back to East Rutherford, but first this time out.
No Luke trumpets.
No. 4 dirticals. 4 dirties. 4
So I
dirties.
gotta get the
4 dirties. 4. Yep, there it is. 4 dirty. No, maybe not.
Lucas.
And he'll get it down here to the 43. They get 16 out of that one, but they'll still need to convert on 3rd.
Well, if you want to be
3rd and
defensive,
5,
quarterback,
Mr. Farms.
That's what
I
you
won't
have
do
to
deep
do.
middle here.
Go into the middle of the field, know the hit is coming, and catch the football. And that's exactly what he just got done.
Uh-oh, you gave that spot up.
To lay that hit and not have the ball come free, right?
No doubt about it, because your goal defensively,
Sail. He had
knock
to do
it
it.
free,
pass.
so that they say,
That
okay,
is a good
guess
quick
what? We're not going to
pass.
throw it in there anymore. Now,
Run.
let's still continue to be
1000% chance
aggressive.
to run. Couldn't be more of a run.
Back to the running game. It's down to
He was debating because he's like, uh-oh.
and he'll work his way
Guy's over
inside
there.
the 30 now to the 20.
Can you just do this for me for a second?
First down, and it'll leave
4-3
them with
over.
a 2nd and 2.
So what you think?
Success here
Okay,
so
ready?
far,
Don't.
but you
Don't.
get the
This is what you're
feeling
gonna do.
that he
Baseline.
might be on the
Shift the
verge of
line
another
left.
one.
Crash it
Even
out.
on that one, there was a little bit of a hole,
And then
but
backwards.
closed there
Oh.
quickly
Yeah.
at the end.
Base line, shift line, left, crash. Oh, shit.
Put the middle linebacker in a deep zone. Hover. Get there. Scream. Oh my God, he pick it. Yes.
Here you go, Rod. Step.
Go, DJ.
Ah!
And he's able to get it back to right around the 27.
Your guy.
We need to hit him. We need to hit Julio.
He's moving
Kobe?
to his right
Yeah.
and trying to shift the
Cross that
coverage.
I can't
But
score on
instead,
that.
he shifted the coverage also
Cover two?
to the right and threw
Yeah, he's
right
covered
into
two.
it for an interception.
Just do your hot routes. Do this. Don't.
And the wideout in motion.
Guys.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. Give him 6 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Street crime. Out Johnson.
Out?
An out on Johnson.
Out Johnson.
Drag Brown now, you clown.
Shift together here.
You
for
gotta
the
motion
D-line.
Jones to the right. He's like a delayed read seam, like.
On 2nd down, here's Rodgers. Flushed out right.
Throw
And he takes a
it,
shot
Aaron.
and release referee says this will be incomplete.
Inside switch. Oh, Z-spot. Yeah. It's that time. It's that time. It's that time. Just trust it. You gotta learn to trust.
Let's go to Antonio Brown. Let's go to Antonio Brown.
He's in cover 2.
Is he?
Yeah.
Where's that cover 4?
He's cover 2.
You sure?
I think so. Or he's in cover 4. I don't know.
The wide receiver moving to a new spot.
That's open.
Now Rodgers. Man open left side is Brown. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Do this. PA post. PA post. PA post. Just
Never
do it.
call.
It's
I never
easy.
call it.
It's easy. PA post.
Clear what I see. Should be using cover 2.
Yeah, it's you only called that one.
Set up and catch the ball. I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that
Shoot
indeed,
left.
picking
Slide
up the
left.
first.
No. Motion Brown.
And he motions the
Go.
wide receiver. Throwing on first down is Rodgers. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
Alright, curl flat corner.
Little.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're
Max attack, max attack. Fade B, go.
He came in, made the
Yeah,
contact,
go.
just as he's trying to haul it in.
Throwing now is Rodgers.
He dropped it. That's he held the button.
And
Bad
maybe
timing.
lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. Third down.
Inside switch. Inside
Third
ring.
and 10.
Yeah.
Almost had one here.
Yeah.
He's got to start taking better care of it.
It
Alright,
really
you're gonna
should have been
streak-
back-to-back drives
streak
with
Brown?
interceptions. He's lucky there.
In Beckham. Smart route, Beckham. Motion Jones to the left. You could throw the corner
Jones now in motion
as he breaks the
left.
sideline if there's not if he's not in a soft spot.
Throwing is Rodgers on third down.
Right.
And it falls incomplete after almost being
Think so?
Yeah, there's no
intercepted.
point here.
A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's fourth down. Now the former Gamecock, Spencer Lanning on to punt it
Safe.
away.
Dope.
That's a good punt.
Great
And
punt.
you can't do it much better than that.
Screen?
This ball
force it
kicks
over.
out of bounds at the
40
40.
over screen.
Easy goal line.
Now Oakland ready to take
Fame
the
335
field.
go for.
And the ball backed
Go for
way
it, yeah.
up, so thinking with this amount of time
Oh,
on the
that's
clock,
why, but
probably
we just
sit
spent an
on it,
hour and 20
and we'll
minutes.
see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
don't think you want to
You
overthink
don't
it in
practice
this
for
situation. Either side of the ball.
I will call this way more.
Up the half
You should.
and get on out and talk about it.
Now Tomlinson on first and 10.
That
Room here to run.
Farls.
He's got daylight. The 30.
That's on you.
That's not on me.
That's on you.
I would like the game tape to show how awful of a user that was. You ran away from the play.
Is answer.
Rather than you just kept running backward with Jones.
With that carry, he's already over 100 yards here in the first half.
And partner, you know exactly what he's saying to his teammates right now, right? Especially
Larry, go back to the green room, my friend. These guys are ready to go again.
Oh my God. That's...
Man, return middle.
Yeah.
So both teams have their
Oh my
marching orders, and we'll get
God,
going
that's
again here in quarter
so
number
good.
3. This fielded a few yards into the end zone.
Get that straight.
Get across the
Is it
20
good?
before
Let's
he's
go.
brought down at about the
All right, Farls. Let's play for
24-yard
real.
line.
Ready?
And the Giants ready to come
You
out
do what I
now.
say?
They're down
Z-spot
here,
go.
but
Make him
very
pay
much
attention
in this
to it.
game.
Z-spot
What's
go.
the
First play,
tonality of a
Giants go.
coach's
Go.
talk when a
Drag
game is
inside
within
that.
striking distance like this at intermission?
Just what?
typically what they're
Throw it out
doing
for
is
no reason.
Yes.
emphasizing
It's not
the
no
things
reason.
that
You're
went
making
well
them
in the
respect it.
first
Go.
half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team.
Nope.
We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in. And
All
we'll
right.
take it from there.
how
PA.
that
PA.
recipe
Go to PA.
works.
Go to PA. Drag Gronk. Drag Brown. Block the halfback. Motion Brown to the right. You got
The man
the
in
mesh.
motion is
You can
Brown.
throw the high low to
Play
Jones.
clock
Get the
winding
post.
down.
Go.
Snap comes at 1. They find some open field here. And he is out of bounds, getting it across the 30.
You can tell when you've never ran a play before because your first instinct is to scramble.
I mean, it's wide open. Is it not wide open?
You had X wide open.
Who's X?
The drag.
How would I know that?
Because pay attention. All right, throw the post. Throw the post. Y Johnson, do the thing. Should happen. That's a trap.
Shotgun now for Rodgers.
Got him.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him
All
for a
right,
sack.
you're gonna do this. You're gonna streak the tight end.
In there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8.
Pay attention to the game. Streak the tight end. Put Brown on an in. You're pulling away his user, and then you're gonna throw Brown underneath and scamper for about 8 yards.
Nothing on mine.
Just you can put Y on out, sure. You want to go to Brown. You're looking for Brown.
Now Rodgers to throw on second down. It's complete to Brown, right side.
No huddle.
And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys
I
are
want
just
you
so
to be
comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. Doesn't even need to be a breakdown. Just they move.
I want you to
and they
put
know it affects
Jones
the
on an in
defense,
and
'cause
smart
a lot of
route it.
times you get lost in
Streak
coverage in the
Gronk,
secondary.
Rock Johnson.
I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket.
Now Rodgers.
He should be vacant.
Eluding the pressure right. Hard throw in.
What do you do here?
Another drive comes
Give
and
me.
goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Sure.
Yeah, when
All right.
It's 4th and 14.
Give him a short field. Give him a short field. Who cares? I'd rather him short field so you get the ball back. Hold no field goal.
Down 2 scores.
Go to X under. X under. Trip set. Trips.
What?
Trips tight end. Trips tight end. X under.
Yeah.
You never heard of the name Trips tight end X under?
We're changing our game plan right now all of a sudden?
I said X under.
I mean, that seems not like something that we do. Does it?
They do go for it. It's Rodgers. And the Raiders have got him. Emerson Griffin.
All right, give him a short field. Hold him a field goal.
Get him for what'll be a
It's
loss
fine.
of 13 yards. Well, they've got
Hot stick. Look Just look at the chat. Look what Hot stick said. Instead,
What? Yeah.
X under.
There's 13 seconds on the play clock after,
Let's just
like,
say that with that
I know what X under is all of a sudden.
the head coach will agree to disagree.
Since when?
But he knew he
Chad
wanted
agrees.
to be aggressive there, as you pointed out. So I guarantee he told his defensive coordinator, have your guys up and ready. I'm going to go for it here. If we don't get it, just make sure they're ready to go out there and bail us out.
And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4.
okay.
A solid pickup
Play
of
big boy D now.
13 sets him up 1st and goal.
Really good, skillful, tough running throughout this contest. Picked up first down after first down. He's got to have a nickname, doesn't he? How about the human first down machine? I think that fits.
Not funny, it's the playoffs, bro.
I don't. Guys, monkey ball.
They come out here in the eye. They'll run. Tomlinson. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
Well, the spotlight hit him once already tonight as he got into the end zone. He was trying to make it a double spotlight, wasn't he?
But credit the defense.
Probably gonna
bottling him
run.
up, not letting him get in for the 2nd score there. In the slot on the right is Graham.
Good user. Oh my God, you would have been right
Give me
there.
the foosball.
Just give him a good throw there, and you would have been money.
Jimmy Graham, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd and
I don't.
short.
I'm telling you, I don't hate 3-3-5 cover 4 hard flats. I don't hate it because you're gonna have a lot of dudes in the back of the end zone, and he clearly wants to throw that route. That's why I'm suggesting.
What if he runs, though?
You got to get the safeties in the box, and you have to attack. You can't run away from the run.
That'll definitely be a disappointment. to
Bring
come out of
Bouye
this
up,
starting
bring him
position
up.
with just 3 points. They need to try to dial something up now. 3rd and
Get
10.
up.
Play action. Moon.
He wants to throw that right there.
Steps away to feeling the pressure.
Hand on the stick. Hands on the stick.
Sack back at the 7. Deion Jones. In there to get him for a loss of 3, and it'll be 4th down. And Suckup will put this one right through, and the lead moves to 10-zip. So put another 3 on the board.
Ready to change it up next drive?
Considered a good opening drive here to begin the 3rd quarter.
It sure was. I think as a head
Go
coach,
X under.
you're happy to come out and put a little drive together, take the 3
great,
points, and
fantastic
build on your lead.
Short boot taken at the 21. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape.
Is that what
as
we're
they
doing?
get it up past the 30.
Run to the open.
New
No.
York set to
Trips
take
tight
the
end, bro.
field. And on
Yeah.
that last
Flip it,
drive,
because
went for it on fourth.
hitch the
turned
far
it
right guy.
over. Good job by their
And now it's up
defense.
to you.
So
Make
they
a
held
read,
them
bro.
to 3, but
Just
offense,
this?
they've got
Yep.
to
What
be
am I
a
looking
little
for?
bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on fourth down, when they decide to go for it.
And Rodgers intercepted.
What are the odds that a tip pick?
Good positioning, and
He
it's
threw his loser.
He didn't
All right.
catch it.
All right, hold him to 3 again. You still got a shot.
He didn't catch
Well,
it.
there definitely was some juice on that pass. And while tight ends don't always have the same reputation for hands as wide receivers do,
You're not a good
in
coach.
this case, that ball was expected to be caught.
on first down. Moon. His throw caught.
He's not a good coach.
What did I do there? Where was? Did you have a deep zone? No.
Did you tell me to put a deep zone? Did you?
Here we go.
Did you?
Here we go.
Did you tell me to put a deep zone?
Here we go.
I missed it?
And the
Here we go.
first turnover on defense leads to 6 points.
I don't understand how I can win. Two possession game.
Go!
Two
Go!
possession game.
Go, Forrest! Why is he running so slow? Go! Go!
30, the 20, the 10.
Let's go. Let's go. Only down 14. Huge.
You.
That's what I needed.
This one away and off it goes. Short boot taken at the 21. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape. As they
Can you
get
go back to
it
X under?
past the
No, X under's stupid. You're stupid. You're a bad coach. It's not a good play. It's not a good play to just say, make a do this.
That's literally what it is. You didn't.
That's stupid.
You had the hitch
So
wide open.
stupid.
You had the hitch wide open. You didn't throw it.
Stupid. So stupid. Yeah, I'm shocked you would even recommend it.
Okay.
But then I'm not.
Trying to shake off the
But it's also you just missed B, so you're
He was
you're terrible.
usering it,
You're terrible.
uh-huh.
No, so
He
then you're
was
terrible.
usering it.
You're terrible because B was wide
Yeah,
open.
okay, we'll go back and watch the tape.
He was wide
used
open.
it. Yeah, he used it.
Just read the chat.
He used it. What's the chat?
Whoa, Farls, I love that play. See, and it's only one of the best plays in the game.
Yeah, if you run it right at the right time, not if it's just like let's try this thing we've never done because everything else isn't working.
No,
Bad
it's
coach.
because he's defending the corners. You made him defend one corner, you threw the other corner. That's why it's a good play.
A good gain of 14 there.
Then why wasn't the corner open?
Because you threw the corner at the
Should've thrown the hitch.
you
It's
should
on the other side of
correct.
the field.
The hitch
How
was
would
the
I know
one
that?
because you don't read anything.
So, correct. Because why?
He can
I don't
hurt you
know.
downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
Okay.
He really does, and the best part about that play
But we
for
went
him,
to it in the middle of the game. It makes no sense.
I didn't know
It's
you
like
were
our plan wasn't
practicing.
working. We were just stalling
I-
out. We were just stalling out in the red zone
was
all day.
coming from, and went to a secondary
It wasn't the end of the
target
world.
for
We
a
just,
really
okay,
nice
we
gain.
struggled in the red zone.
Just what you want on
We
a
had a bad
first
pass.
down run. Call it 80 yards. And it's 2nd and 2. Now Johnson.
All right, you're moving the ball.
Pick up there as that
Can we
extends
call
this
a different
drive.
play there?
I'd
What?
say they've got
No,
to
you're
find a
good.
way to get
You're
him
moving
going.
and
He's
grooving.
such a big part of their
If my plays are so
offense.
terrible,
Roll
you're
with
using my
the
plays
ball
though.
and come back to the run.
Anything because you're right. He's pretty
Because you
much
practice.
No, because they're good. They take time. They're not just like, yeah, you're on your own. Call this random play.
I don't know what to tell you.
Quick,
You know how to run
Third and
sail.
long.
You know how to run sail. You know how to run a post, and then you put a hitch out there for the corner. We've gone over that play a million times. You used to run it. I don't know what happened to it.
Never
Right.
heard of it.
Got ass. You have heard of it.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by the free safety, Eric Berry. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line.
The chat, Falls, chat don't lie.
In these games, and now
Chat
in this
don't lie.
situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in. That one's gonna
We're
hurt.
about to test your defense now.
There you go.
They run with LT.
I literally hate your guts. I hate your guts.
Why?
Past the 20.
For what?
And all the way in. Touchdown.
You ran 0-1 trap. You didn't run on Wham. What do you want?
Tomlinson.
He didn't run. He didn't run. He didn't run the. He ran an 0-1 trap.
And he certainly played a pivotal
He ran a fake.
TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard.
Someone's all about winning, aren't they?
Remember that time when I got crushed by the greatest player of all time, and then you got crushed by Air Fiero?
Contributing to their lead, he wants to continue to do so.
24-2?
You gave up twice as many points.
Jackson, the greatest player that's ever played the game ever.
You gave up 56 points. This isn't funny. This is the playoffs. I'm not laughing.
You're losing 24-2 to Eric Vieiro.
Am I laughing?
No, I'm just laughing based off of last week.
Think it's funny?
Based off of last week? I do, actually. Yes, I do.
You having fun?
Yeah.
It's a good time?
Yeah.
This is good for you?
Yeah.
Chat's loving it. Chat's having a great time. Chat thinks it's pretty funny.
I can't wait to take a picture of the graph at the end and say proof of how much better Eric Vieiro is better than Farls. Oh!
Out of that one, and it gets him a new
I don't know how to say that guy's last name.
Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short.
See, Brett Cole thinks it's funny.
Yeah, they're going to run
As long as Brett Cole's having a good time.
in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time? Hopefully with a chance to win.
Oh, he's got a little daylight.
What happened there?
5 more yards.
Oh.
Take a hit stick fumble, then blame the game that my quarterback shouldn't fumble on his stick. I say escape fumble.
Yeah.
I can't believe I fumbled. You ran into a defender.
You can't believe that you've thrown picks when you throw it right at your defenders.
Fine. Picks are fine.
Forced out to his left. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away incomplete.
I get it.
Put Brown on an in and motion him out.
Another wayward pass.
Put him on an in because he's running cross outs out there.
To be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary.
Yeah, he's got a shot next season.
What's going on,
right.
and they just play better and better.
That's the difference between me and you, though.
What?
I always have a shot next season. You? Jeez.
They'll need to get the play off quickly. Now Rodgers. Escaping the pressure right.
Yeah, because I make plays.
Over the middle here to
You?
Brown.
Just a
And he
stupid
gets us
robot.
all the way down inside the 15, just
Yeah.
shy of the 10.
But a stupid robot who you run the stupid robot's offense.
Nah.
Yeah, you're never gonna run this again.
First down carry here for Johnson.
You would
And Johnson lost the
you invented girl black corner?
poked out.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home, the next guy comes through and picks him up.
Oh!
Trying to run inside, but nothing there. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be second and goal. Wasn't able to get anything, and he takes it
You
in
going for
the
two?
end zone for
Make
a
it
giant TD.
14 game? 14 point game?
David Johnson.
You going the wing?
taking it in.
The old wing?
And the Giants are able to cut into this lead.
No?
And they're
Do the
able to
math.
run it in. It
Do
started
math.
with the
Do
back
better
of the
math.
trenches.
I-
They won there.
Do more
And
math.
They got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and
Onside
figure
kick.
out how are we going to
Do the
slow
math.
down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
No?
He came out.
What the heck is wrong with you?
He picked onside.
Wow.
And he didn't. He picked onside and he didn't onside.
Oh, here we
That's
go.
a glitch.
Here we go.
What's up with that? You shouldn't be able to do that.
What?
He picked onside.
How do you know he picked onside?
It said onside kick.
He audible out of it, clearly.
No, we would have seen him audible out of it.
Coming
Would
off
we
a
not?
one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense. What's their
know what
mentality? How
defense
do they
plays that call it don't
rally
work?
here and stop
Dude, this guy
this
scored on a
offense?
friggin' run.
Determination
Dope.
that sets in.
I
Because
can't wait to go back and look at your user.
Yeah, it's called flow into the play. It's
Oh.
called flowing.
getting it done, but the run of that length,
What's this called?
that's just not being
Oh,
prepared.
strong power.
Are they
Heard
determined?
it?
Are they ready to read their keys and make the proper plays?
And we'll see how
Ah,
determined
Farls.
And now defensively they're going to burn their first timeout. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. Again, it's Tomlinson. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. And his defense here going to burn their second timeout. But you can also factor in another timeout that they'll get when the clock stops
Can
at
you
the
do this?
2-minute warning. And
I'll
a new
do that
set of
after the game
downs
to
here
soothe
after
myself,
picking up
yes.
the first on the ground. They'll run it
fight.
now out of the gun.
You.
Wow.
Coward.
He's insulting you. Yes. This is my favorite guy right here.
Stay in bounds Sounds like you know
This guy's the man.
Keep that clock moving.
Isn't it funny that we're
Yeah,
watching this?
Sgibs has the worst run defense I've ever seen.
Oh, really?
Just him sitting in this chair allows this guy to be able to get like 1,000 yards.
Yeah?
Yeah, the run defense is bad. I don't have the same run defense problems you have.
Oh, yeah?
No, not even close. And then all of a sudden you get near me, it's like contagious. Literally, your run defense is contagious.
Oh, here we go. I'm glad that Shugs just showed up. He gets to watch this beat down. That's good.
Shugs, this is not what it looks like.
That leaves them needing about 7 here on 3rd down. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense.
This is hardly a beatdown. This is a
Right out
joke.
of the break with
What do you
1:57
mean?
to go in the ball
Complete
game.
domination by
On
this
3rd down. They've been good. 3 for 4 thus far. This is
You're
3rd
calling
and
deep.
7.
Yeah, I know.
Looking to throw. Moon. Green's got it over the middle. 8 yards.
Not 4th and
there,
inches?
First down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary.
Good game to my
you
opponent,
gotta be really
Sgibs. He was the real
careful
opponent
as a
sitting in this
passer
chair the
about
whole
how far you
time.
let your guy go,
Yeah,
'cause he might
me?
wander into some
Yeah.
tough coverage.
Oh, man.
Now it's
Uh-oh.
Tomlinson. Oh, he's got some
Oh.
Rank make got sucked inside. It happens.
Good run D. Good run D.
I mean, what? Forget that run commit sends 11 defenders towards one central gap.
And the Raiders add on to their lead. He keeps carrying the ball into the end zone, and in this one, he's sort of carrying the team on his back.
Is there-
So much anger sharks swimming in my head right now.
No question about it. And you talk about on his back.
You want me to take play? Like,
You
I'm
want
not.
you throw a pick for me?
Yeah. No, I just to get you off the 6. So I know how you feel.
I don't feel anything. I feel robbed. I feel robbed of a playoff victory because you tried to
Because of what?
coach me like a joke.
Like a joke?
You recommended like 3 plays this game and none of them won.
It's not my fault that you don't know how to run the play.
I mean, I'm going to be 0-1 with this mustache. Actually, I had this mustache yesterday.
What? Yeah? So now you gotta shave it?
And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed.
You got out of bounds. Whoa, the extra 3 yards. Whatever. Do that, boss.
It's called covering up for a fumble. I tried to get out.
Get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
And he motions the wide receiver. To throw is Rodgers. Dumping it off for Johnson. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at
Fans
the
love the
50.
mustaches.
It's an 8-yard pickup.
They don't like the mustache.
I love it. Pull that damn mustache off, bro.
That
He's
means-
saying, he says that I am pulling that damn mustache off, bro. He doesn't mean like literally pull it off. He means like you are pulling that off, bro.
We're talking
God.
about
It's
an era
electric.
in the game.
Wow. You're a god?
That's what he wrote, basically. This
This
guy's number 11 on the leaderboard, by the way.
Yeah?
It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. So
Good.
their
He's a good player.
move is practice now. It's not
So
necessarily
talking about what?
just took off and you guys
It's getting
go.
crushed?
When he takes off, everyone knows where to go now.
No,
They know
you're
how to run routes, change
What, your
things,
4 picks?
make themselves presentable
Not to
for
mention
the
my hands are
quarterback.
damaged.
It's a lot of time that
From
they
what?
put in on it.
Blue
It's
collar
not just
work
your
during
style.
Hurricane Irma.
1,
It's
2,
raining.
3. This
Rain,
is not plays
rain,
anymore.
rain.
That's what we're blaming on? Could it be any hotter in here?
It's so incredibly hot.
Oh my
It's
god.
insane. It's insane. It's one of the things that frustrates me very much. It frustrates me so much.
Why is it so hot in here?
I don't know.
Does it always get like this?
This guy knows the user of this route. I gotta tip my cap.
He does. Smart ball.
On
Smart player.
1st and 10, here's Rodgers. And he's got room.
Uh-oh. Go. Go.
Finding
Fumble.
room to the 20. And inside
It's
the
so
40.
hot here.
It's so hot here.
It's so hot
17
here.
more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
Oh. Ooh, man.
I'm throwing a deep to Gronk and the team don't care about this.
Into the red zone, it's Rodgers. And that is
When,
incomplete.
at what point, though, when did it get so hot? Like, it just all of a sudden just, like, turned on. It's 95.
Probably when the game was tied with 4 seconds left and he ran the ball for a touchdown with no time left. Probably right about then, Gibbs. Stannis. Yeah, Stannis Gibbs.
I'm calling you Renly, then.
I don't know who that is.
Sure you do. Pick. Oh, that's the 5th pick of the game. It's already cooler
I
in
think
here.
they don't let you throw more.
This drive, which is going so smoothly, all of a sudden it's a little bit of a roadblock here with 2 straight
That's funny.
completions.
That's the best joke you've ever said. That's the best joke you've ever said.
Right here, right now. But it
Oh
is
my
3-10.
God.
We gotta get after him one more time.
Oh, man. Oh. Good laughs. Good laughs tonight, Farls.
To throw on third down. Rodgers. And he will take it on in.
Here we go.
Sgibs, you got 56 unanswered points scored in this.
Oh,
Me?
yeah. You
but
what?
I barely lost 31-17.
Oh, 17? Oh, you're going to use my stinky plays?
Yeah, did they work? Because they got me not 2 points earlier.
Aren't necessarily the tight ends of old. They're the rocked up wide receivers who have a little bit more speed. Way harder to cover than before.
What's that throw?
Incomplete with just
Use a
6
little
seconds
pass
left
lead
on
on
the
that?
clock. So time definitely not in their
You
favor.
still got your chance.
But they'll try the
Still got a
onside
chance,
kick.
Bob.
To let him score 56 points against me?
No, to come back and win. Your ball.
My ball.
And this is
Yeah,
gonna be
see?
a
You got
recovery
time.
by the hands team.
Now you got to score.
That should just about put a
Oh,
cap
you didn't
on
get the
this
ball?
one. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to
Shut
have
up,
that
Stannis.
onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done.
He's cute. No, he's QB's fake spike throw. He's fake spike throwing. Call time out.
Coming in from that outside line.
Is this guy, I have a serious question. Re-up, 716. You noted that Air Verja was number 11 on the leaderboards.
Charles, you never
Played him
take
tough.
that for granted, no
Is he rated higher on than problem on leaderboards?
Doesn't matter.
It does matter.
I take problem every time.
I mean, maybe this year Air Verja is a more dominant player. And look, I may not have won the first half, but I did fight very hard in the fourth
You
quarter.
didn't win any quarters.
I didn't lose any quarters, though. I didn't lose that quarter either.
Doesn't matter. I only lost 3 quarters.
So here's how this game went. 4th and 10, I punted to the 3-yard line.
Look at your user, you clown. Look at you run away. You run away from the play.
It's called defense. It's called situational defense. 6 seconds left in the half. He's going to run it, take on a block, but don't get eaten up. Get away so that you can...
No, that guy
get away
that
so
just...
you can pick it up.
64 was the problem there. You let 64 get and cause running lanes.
It's so bad. First of all, this is a play we never called this ever before.
It's one of the best plays in the game defensively right now.
Yeah, it looked awesome, dude.
Okay.
We were user and lurking early in this game.
That
like
was a great play.
beast.
Great play call by me. That wasn't a user lurk.
Like a beast.
You were not usering that guy.
Beasting. This was a mistake.
Yeah?
You need to throw a high point.
What was that?
And then we had... The first half of this game was good. This was on me. Should have probably just taken the flat. Or thrown it to that guy. Or thrown it earlier. That guy was open. That's what I saw. He was open. Good game.
It's a good game.
Yeah, so no big deal. This gentleman, Problem's a great player. No one's going to deny that. He did beat you 56-3, so therefore, how could we say he's not amazing? But my opponent tonight, technically tougher than Problem right on the leaderboards. Just a dominant player. He knew I was in my playoffs, most likely. He wanted a shot at the stash. He knew I was undefeated with this mustache. So he decided he was going to try and stick it to me.
Yeah.
I mean...
He did. And he did.
And he was able to. And he was able to. I got to tip my cap. And that's pretty good. There he is. Air Verja. 265 and 113.
113 losses.
Hey, 208. Hey, number 11, Gibbs. That's all I see. Number 11. We go down to the guy you played last week.
Oh, yeah.
Let me keep scrolling.
Yeah?
Oh, and there we see problems.
Yeah, 18 losses.
He's lost 2 in a row.
Yeah. He's lost 2 in a row.
Number 38.
Oh, yeah.
He beat you by 53. I
Yeah.
barely lost the number 11 guy. It's clear how good I am.
You're pathetic.
No, you don't. Apparently you're pathetic because you lost by a greater margin than me.
That guy has 113 losses. Problem has 18.
And he's lower
That's
rated.
how good Problem is.
He's lower rated.
That's a ridiculous record. You know what's a ridiculous record is Obi-Wan Jacoby's record. He's like 280 and 12.
You know?
That's absurd.
I got to start a whole new season. All right, guys. That is it for this week in Madden. Show 239.
Real talk though, shout out to Air Verjao. That was a good game. Good player, good ball player. Good luck on the ladders, the leaderboards, tournaments. We've never come across your path, but
comment below if I should keep my mustache or shave it.
I think you should keep it at this point.
The fans love it. It's electric.
You either own it or you're just a guy that every once in a while has a mustache.
Is it electric? Let me know in the comments. We'll be back next week, next Wednesday. If you have more questions, remember you can leave them in the mailbag. We'll break them down each week. So put them below, and we'll talk. All right. That is it for this show.
Who are we hosting?
Let's go find somebody to host.
Who are we hosting? Anyone got a recommendation who we should host? I mean, we'll go look, but... Jam, Louie? Yo, Louie, we PUBGing?